This video is made possible by our patrons.
Hello everybody and welcome to WargamerOnline, where we are covering this game between Nighthaunt and Disciples of Tzeentch in AOS Worlds. I am joined by our guest Vito.
Hello.
And
good morning, afternoon.
Yeah, time zones don't matter anymore in the world of virtual AOS. And our two regulars, Fabian.
What up?
And Marc.
Hello, hello.
So we've gotten deployment already done here and a little pre-game move from the Tzeentch list. We'll give you a quick rundown here of the two lists. So the first list we have here is the Disciples of Tzeentch, the Archaon build. We've got Archaon, Kairos, Chaos Sorcerer Lord, Frey Shaman, some Pink Horrors, a couple small units of Screamers for Battle Line, and a couple of these key endless spells. Fabian, do you want to give us a quick run through of how this, like a quick bit of like how this list works as our Tzeentch expert?
Fabian has gone into the other
room.
room.
Oh, well, perfect. Okay.
Potentially embarrassed about the fact that he's played this before.
He's
played it quite a lot before.
Well, yeah. Anyways, there's a bunch of nasty combos in here. You know, a lot of it obviously revolves around your 800 point Archaon. He's got the Tzeentch lore for giving himself +1 to hit and wound. That's on all.
He's good in Tzeentch, is he?
Yeah, he's put anything you can in Tzeentch. But yeah, so and then they've got Kairos. You know, he's got his own variety of shenanigans. You got a Chaos Sorcerer Lord who can, you know, let Archaon reroll all his saves. You've got the Pink Horrors. You've got the sort of minimum battle line, the cheap battle line access from being Host Arcanum, which also gives an automatic unbind in turns 1, 3, and 5, I believe. And yeah,
great, isn't it?
endless, especially now, yeah. And yeah, a couple nasty endless spells to allow some long range zaps. You know, everybody's seen Demon Rift
Just a little bit, yeah.
Do all that, and then the Nighthaunt list we have. Yeah, this is probably something people haven't seen as much before. We've got the Dreadblade Hero General. Basically, that's it. You know, that's pretty standard. He can teleport anywhere on the board and bring a unit with him. So that's sort of what he gets up to. We've got Kurdos, who's just basically a beat stick. He can steal some command points if you're lucky. Looks like we're just getting in the first turn. And then yeah, two big blocks of chain rest, small block of chain rest, and then loads of chain ghasts. For people who don't know, they do some shooting. They clog up the board, and having so many units that you deep strike a lot of stuff in Nighthaunt, because half your units can deep strike. So a bunch of these chain ghasts that we can't see right now are off the board. But yeah, so that's a quick rundown on the army. We can see the buffs coming down onto Archaon already.
The looks of the tokens, he's got 4 rerolls to save.
Yeah, he's just not going to stop. He's not going to stop rerolling
them. I feel, yeah. So that's from the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. He just basically picks his buddy that he's close to and just says reroll saves. You often find that the big problem people have is that Archaon will then go on a little flap somewhere and leave his Sorcerer Lord buddy behind.
Mm-hmm.
But that reroll saves is massive, especially when you got a 3+. Never leave home without, ladies and gentlemen, never leave home without a Chaos Sorcerer Lord if you're, you know, taking your Archaon out on town. So always bring one with you. There
is a little combo, which I guess we're not seeing here, which Kairos knows the War Scroll spells of nearby wizards, and so he can learn the Bray Shaman spell Devolve, which lets him make a unit run towards you, basically. So you can sort of pull enemy units even closer to Archaon. It looks like because of Luke's deployment so far away, we're not really seeing that set up.
Yeah, that's gotten me nasty a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know about it until before the game. I was just like, oh, that's a Bray Shaman there. That's weird. It's weird, guys. Isn't that weird? And you were like, no.
Every day is a school day. All right, so Vito, what do you think? If you're so Tzeentch player taking first turn, what do you think? What's the sort of plan? What are you sort of hoping to accomplish in your first turn?
Yeah, I think what he's gonna do here. The problem is he doesn't have bodies. He's going up against a lot of bodies that are gonna keep coming back. I think what he's gonna do is he's gonna move up these Screamers on both sides and try to take all the objectives, get a point lead, and then hold on to that point lead.
Yeah.
If he moves everything up, I think he's got enough movement to get units within the 3-inch bubble of each objective, which would prevent any teleporting onto those objectives. So I think what he's going to try to do is get. I mean, if he gets double turn, they can move in, but really it's going to allow him to hold most all of those objectives for 2 turns into the second battle round.
Yeah,
right.
I think that makes sense.
We've just been seeing, guys, that the
here we go. Turned into a chaos spawn.
From Kairos, and the spell, his famous spell, which does 6 mortal wounds when he's at full health. And Luke, unlike myself, remembers to spawn the chaos spawn when you kill stuff. And it's just an interesting way of going about it. So he's done 6 mortal wounds to 1 unit of chain gas, just obliterating them and replacing them with a chaos spawn. Great stuff.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think also one of the things often is like you never want to necessarily be up against a double turn, but armies like Nighthaunt don't have that many ways to do more damage in a double turn than they would in 2 normal turns. Obviously, you get to hit them in between, but because they don't shoot, I mean, the chain gas have a fair amount of sort of chip damage shooting, but taking the double turn versus Nighthaunt is not as bad as taking the double turn versus, a heavy shooting or range damage list. So risking it, Archaon is unlikely to get killed by chain rasps.
I've been trying to think, how can the Nighthaunt kill Archaon?
Oh, I don't think you do, right? When you play, you can maybe put everything into him. If I were the Nighthaunt player, I'd probably be thinking about how do I kill everything except Archaon. Because Archaon can only be in one place at a time.
Yeah.
So.
And the fact that Archaon is weapons have a lot of rend, they're not going to be that great against, or relatively, they're not going to be as great against the unrend.
Yeah, agreed. So,
controversial opinion from myself. I don't think Archaon's even that good unless he's got buffs on him. So his own spell that gives him +1 to hit and wound. He's got the Chaos Sorcerer Lord that gives rerolls on those hits and wounds. If he doesn't get those off, Archaon could just quite easily fluff all his attacks and do nothing.
The other thing here is that, Archaon really wants to be hitting these 40 chain rasps, right?
Yeah.
If he's getting stuck in these, now a lot of them aren't on the table because they're all back here. We've got a lot of, we've got 40 chain rasps. We've got many, many units of these little chain ghasts. It's going to be hard differentiating those. But he doesn't want to get, if he ends up getting stuck, fighting 2 chain ghasts, followed by 2 chain ghasts, followed by 2 chain ghasts, it sort of doesn't matter whether he's killing them or, it's going to be hard. There isn't a big hero that he can get stuck into and remove from the table, which is what you want. It can, if Luke can keep him just getting, chipping through unimportant units, sort of trapped by board control, then, that can basically neutralize 800 points of your opponent's army.
So we're seeing Archaon pretty well buffed here. He's got +1 to hit and wound and a reroll save. I wouldn't mess with that. Not personally.
I agree. But again, I don't think when you look at this Nighthaunt army, there's not a lot that you're saying, okay, I want to charge Archaon with this, right? You don't want to charge Archaon with 40 chain rasps, right? They're not going to kill him anyways. So you're sort of
I was just gonna say you'll lose more than you'll be able to bring back too.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're really just hoping you can control the board, get rid of these small scoring units, and then sort of just watch Archaon go from objective to objective in the late game, and that you can keep scoring. Which is why I think it's a good idea for the Tzeentch to go first, take all these objectives, and get that scoring lead early before you have to start chasing the Nighthaunt from objective to objective.
You see, I would have gone second.
Then what do you so then you kind of get maybe pinned, right? So you 40 chain rasps come out of the grave somewhere obnoxious, right?
Yeah.
And you fall immediately behind on points. And what are you using to get rid of all the Nighthaunt units to start scoring? How do you outscore on any of these objectives? Archaon?
You use endless spells to sort of clip all the chain gas.
Yeah, I mean, if all the chain gas are clumped up enough to take it, then yeah, but what if they're all on the edges? What if you're looking at just big blocks of chain? You don't really have chain rasp killing damage. I mean, the horrors are okay with the shoot. You can sort of get rid of
I
one,
guess
maybe.
it is just Archeon, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't think it's terrible, but in this case, are you afraid of the double turn from Nighthaunt here?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I'm not. No.
So
That's a good point.
The other thing too is if he gave Nighthaunt the first turn, those chain ghasts with their -2 rend could really take Arcane down.
yeah, they
could really seriously bracket him without that reroll save.
yeah, before he's got his buffs. If Luke did decide to just put every single chain ghast, 9 inches away and ping it all into Archeon, then yeah, I think that's sort of a deployment thing. Like if he was gonna go second, he would have had to deploy in a different way where he wasn't exposing Archeon to all that damage.
Luke wins tournaments and I don't. Everyone, that could be the difference. I just don't think you can pin Archeon. Not maybe with the 40.
Well, you don't need to pin him as much as you just need to sort of, like, if you surround him with loads of chain ghasts, where he's got a big old base, then he might not be able to get like an actual charge off into your chain routes. I don't know. And also, how many chain ghasts are there actually in this list? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22.
Yeah.
So 22, and what are they? They're D3 shots? I forget their...
I was assuming they weren't going to do much damage to Archeon.
I'm
the
gonna
reroll saves. Maybe he could actually. Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out because I mean I've played versus this list and never really respected the shooting, and also never really been punished for it. But I don't know if that was smart or lucky. So we said there were 22 of them. They've got D3 attacks each. 4, 3, 2, 1. And
They have some sort of application that would work this out for.
Yeah, so 70% of the time they're doing about 8 wounds, which is not something that's without the reroll saves, which is not what you want to take for free on Archeon. But it's also not a disaster. And with reroll saves, let's check what that goes down to. Save rerolls, refill. Does he have a... No, there's no War Shrine, I think. It's going down to about 6 or 7 wounds with the reroll saves. So,
That's if you pumped every single chain ghast into it.
yeah.
Okay.
What was the math on that?
It was about 8 wounds. So 8 wounds without the reroll saves, and about 5 with. That's the 70. That's a conservative estimate. That's 70% or more. The average is a couple wounds higher, so maybe like 7 to 10.
Okay, so that's really not that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's not. You don't want to lose half of Archeon's wounds on turn 1 for free, right?
I guess you don't.
So you'd rather have that reroll saves, which about halves the damage that you're going to take.
Yeah, because you're going to need Archeon all 5 turns.
Yeah.
Start
absolutely.
taking stuff out.
Does anyone in the chat agree with me, by the way? Hashtag
Hashtag.
goes first, or
Hashtag.
Leech goes second, or hashtag Mark's an idiot.
Mark and Vito are a bit quiet. Okay, I can turn Mark and Vito up a little bit.
You sure you want to do that?
I can just
Sure you
pump
want to
them up.
amplify this voice? So, Vito, what army do you play normally?
Vito, you are not obliged to answer that question. You've been set up.
No, you are obliged to answer that question.
So my main army is Seraphon.
Seraphon. How would they be placed in the meta at the moment? Roughly?
Well, against this Archeon list, not very good.
All right, so
They
here,
get
That's
crushed
a
by
pretty good
them.
answer.
here's a sneak peek of some new stats coming out. Right, I've been looking at what about if you only consider games between equally skilled players, right, and between people who've played at least 1.5 tournaments before. And you see that Seraphon drop from their 60-odd-ish win percent to like 54% win rate, and where Gits are like 51%. So like if you actually filter, so like Seraphon right now is a lot of top players have picked them up and are running amok in tournaments, winning their first 4 games, which they would win with any other faction. So it's actually Seraphon are not as offensive as the stats make them look because of the standard magnification that happens of if you are looking to win a tournament, you will pick the best list, no matter how small the advantage is.
Yeah, I think the nerf to the Salamander. I mean, with the Salamanders being only 80 points, they were pretty offensive.
Yeah. Especially on a TTS meta.
Yeah, what I always tell people is, I don't think, like, I agree with you. I don't think they're as offensive as everyone thinks they are.
Agreed.
I think that
I'm shaking my head.
a lot of people don't like playing against Croak, but he has the same problem that Teclis has.
I
is
wonder why.
There's a very long hero phase where you do nothing,
Yeah.
and you get
yeah.
double turned
Everything
by
else
him. It's
is
like,
dies.
Yeah. The thing is, Mark, you're just not good enough to understand how big brain Seraphon players are. I think that's the issue.
That that is it. That is got to be it. Yeah.
You're like, the Neanderthals. You're just watching the Seraphon players and you're like, they're so overpowered when really they just got the big brains.
Yeah, that is
I mean,
it. You know what?
just
You
wait
got
till
me.
the new Crow comes out.
Yeah, he looks amazing. The thing is, I see his model with that spinning, like, astral throne, and I'm just like, just make a spell do, like, 16 mortal wounds to everything in range. I'm just like, okay. I'm like, just amp him up. Up his points if you need to, but just let him kill everything.
Have you seen the picture on it's Warhammer Community? It's one of the articles they wrote like last week. There's a picture of Croak holding all of the realms together single-handedly and pushing off the chaos.
Yeah.
Just Croak. So I hope they make a war scroll that exemplifies that.
Agreed. You should just have a one command point, remove opponent's realm, and if they're not from the same realm as you, they just fall into space and you win.
Yeah. Push chaos off board.
Yeah, exactly. Add 100 points to his cost to make up for that, and then just into the nether you go.
But give them a free CP, just
Well, he still gets his 3 rolls for CP. You don't want him not to be able to use it. That doesn't make any sense. I played Lizardman back in Fantasy, and I remember that I had a list I had the double slam list, and you just rolled for Winds of Magic. You ended up with 3 dice, and you were like, these guys are supposed to be 10,000 years old, and they can't cast anything. So I'm glad to see Croak popping off.
6 dice, didn't you, with Warhammer?
Yeah, but you had to roll for how many dice you got to cast with. So if you did have 6, then you just pumped it into something crazy. But sometimes you just got a really low roll, so there just was not a lot of magic around, and then you just felt really sad about having slams.
Just while we've been talking undiluted nonsense, which is my favourite kind of way to talk, the Tzeentch has taken a 6-0 lead.
Cool. Yeah, so that's what we expected.
The Screamers are spread across the board, much like Vito said they would. And now...
But notably, we didn't see the 6 free Screamers get summoned.
Yeah, that's not, isn't it?
I was going to say that too.
I mean, it's not terrible to summon them later. I assume it's one of the big heroes that has... Oh, wait, no, it must be a little hero that has the artifact, right? It must be the Sorcerer Lord. Because Kairos and Archeon obviously can't take them. So I don't know where the Sorcerer Lord is. Oh, he's over here. But if he gets shot off, that's a sad face.
Interesting to note as well, he's wholly within 12 of Archeon, so he's going to get that reroll save buff again, unless...
Nice, okay. Unless he gets shot off.
If he gets shot off. Another thing to note as well is you see that the Screamers have positioned themselves around the red circles. That is entirely on purpose. This is so that when Luke brings down Nighthaunt units 9 inches away, he cannot take the objective off him unless he makes a 9-inch charge.
Or unless he moves 3 models onto it, which is what he's about to do.
Yeah.
But on the far right side he can't. Yeah. But one of the things about this list that's sort of, Nighthaunt have the rule where if they roll a natural 10 plus to charge, they fight immediately as well as later. And one of the things that you leverage by playing this absurd MSU chain gas list is if you do bring on all these chain ghasts at once and try and charge them all, you are quite likely to get some 10 pluses. Now, they have attacks that scale with the number of models they're fighting, so they're not good at fighting, say, Archeon. But if they get into horrors, who do not have a save, essentially, especially once they start splitting, chain gas are going to blend them.
You reckon?
Yeah, the chain gas will blend through horrors. If you charge horrors with a bunch of chain gas, you're gonna blend them. But I don't know if that I don't know if he's going to go for that or if he wants to deep strike back, because again, horrors have all that little chip shooting damage, which is not amazing, but will whittle down a unit of chain gas or something like that.
6 mortal wounds is probably the best thing you can put on chain gas, but a lot of cheap shooting's not bad either.
Especially if it's no round.
Are the chain gas 4-ups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saves? Okay.
Ethereal as well, so no rend.
Yeah, so here we go. We're going to see some shenanigans. The General, Dreadblade Hero, has teleported
Here we go. Here we
over
go.
here. And he's going to summon... He's probably measuring to stay out of range of the portal. Not that he is. Or I don't think he even can be, because the portal's more than
It's
a 36.
36 inches.
It's
not gonna be able to
36
do that.
plus 1 plus the base sizes of both portals, so... Oh, and he's summoned with him the Spirit Torment. So I assume we're going to see the 40 Chain Rasps from the grave come up over here.
Yeah, I think he's chaining it, isn't he?
That's
so
what...
the General goes down, brings a friend, and from that we're going to see
Oh, you
summoning?
don't... Yeah, well, no, the summoning can be anywhere on the board. It doesn't require a hero for Nighthaunt.
Okay.
But it looks like, he's brought one unit with him, which is the Spirit Torment, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm not going to lie. Explain this.
So I think my guess would be the Spirit Torment gives reroll 1s to hit to nearby, and all nearby units wholly within 12, I think. So if he pops him here and he summons all of his little
oh shit! Yeah,
chain gas, he might be able to shoot off Kairos. Might be what he's going for. Now, if he summons all of them, there's a good chance he kills Kairos. I don't know if I assume Kairos had no. He has reroll 1s to save. Looks like he has Mystic Shield, and he does have Destiny dice, presumably somewhere. Oh wait, if this is his Destiny dice.
Oh my god!
Yeah, the Destiny dice are bad.
Wow, that I have never seen a roll that bad.
Yeah, that's
Is that bugged? Does he want me to re-roll them for him? Luke probably won't see.
Just so everyone knows, Destiny dice. You roll dice at the beginning of the game, and these allow Tzeentch players to replace, I think, a bunch of different types.
Yeah, hits, wounds, saves, charges, those sort of things.
You can substitute hit and wound rolls instead of rolling them like normal chumps do. You can just say, actually,
I want to roll a 1 or 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
To be fair, one of the things about 2s and 3s at least is when you have someone like Archeon who hits on 2s, you can at least use your 2s from your Destiny dice and be like, well, there we
what
go.
else are you gonna use them for?
Yeah, and the ones will let you regenerate pink horrors from their battle shock, because if they roll a 1 for if they roll a 1, their banner guy, this little crazy man here, will let you regenerate d6 horrors instead of losing them. Which once you're down to blues and brimstones from splitting, you can still bring back pink ones. But yeah, those the Destiny dice of 3 1s, 2 3s, and 4 2s that's really bad. I think legitimately the worst. It was so bad that I assumed they weren't Destiny dice when I looked over there.
I've rolled.
There's 9 of them, right?
May as well not be there.
Okay, so here we go. So chain rasps are coming in. 9 inches away, I presume. Oh, or not.
Now these are the ones that are difficult to bring on. One good thing about these chain gas.
Oh, yeah.
Gas is that they're very easy to fit in. So imagine each one of these models has like a 9-inch like zone around it. That's places where Luke cannot bring stuff in. You can see here is measuring, and he's too close.
But he'll be able to do it. He'll be able to just move some of these chain rasps. Because there's no restriction like where there is with other factions where it has to be wholly within range of a hero. It's actually, like, again, it's not optimal because he's going to have to make this weird shape with, as you say, the 9-inch zones carved out. But I think it's interesting that he brought them in here in such a sort of aggressive position rather than on one of these free objectives. Because if it were me, I'd probably want to be splitting the Tzeentch army because they're thin on the ground. But if he also is bringing in all his chain... Yeah, here we go. So this is what we're talking about. He's going to try and just shoot Kairos off straight away. And it's a 15-inch range on shooting, so he should be able to get everything in range, re-rolling 1s. And then also, if he gets enough chip damage and does get Kairos down to a couple wounds, he can roll all those charges for the chain ghasts and try and get some of those 10s. And finish him off.
So would you say this is a mistake by the Tzeentch player? Because he could have used these screamers to screen off a little bit more room.
I think he should have summoned his 6 screamers to block it off. But also, I agree. I do think that I don't think Kairos is particularly likely to die here. I mean, the Destiny dice is actually pretty bad. I don't know how likely Kairos is to die here. Probably reasonably likely if he gets charged by some stuff. But it's also hard. Like, if you look at his list, right, it's kind of hard to set yourself up for not being shootable. I think he could have placed Kairos in the middle of the pink horrors.
Yeah.
But even if he did that, though, they have 15.
They have 15 inches, but if you sort of bubbled him from the horrors to some extent, I think the best thing to do would be to have everything almost where it is now, but the 6 screamers at the back in a straight line. Or 6 screamers on the objectives and 3 screamers at the back, because you do sort of want to zone off your the back of your board from deep strikes. Especially because Luke is pressured into bringing these guys down, the earlier the better, because he doesn't want to fall behind on scoring. So maybe just for turn 1, I would have zoned this off, as we said, with those 6 screamers.
Now, it's interesting he's putting these guys so far away instead of rolling charges for Maul to try to take out guys.
Yeah. I guess I'm not really sure why. I feel like I agree. I would have probably just been 9 inches away.
Yeah, me too.
For the charges.
So imagine if Tzeentch gets the next turn and Kairos is still alive. Think of the fun he can have with endless spells with all these chain gas.
Yeah, I mean, if he puts the Demon Rift through all these chain wraps, it's what critics describe as a situation, isn't it?
It would be a situation, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, Luke's maybe because Luke's had a couple long games on stream, he's decided that one way or another, this is gonna be a 2-turn game. So it looks like he's measuring from Archaon, so he just wants to be as far away from Archaon as possible. Again, with one of the things about this list is when you have, a 6 and a 5 in your Destiny dice, your Archaon is getting those 11-inch charges guaranteed. Now he's,
Way to kick him while he's down. If he has a 5 and a 6 in his Destiny dice.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm just saying, like...
6 in his Destiny dice, JP. 1s, 2s, and 3s.
To be fair, again, when you got a 3-inch charge to make, you can just use a couple 2s. Just because...
He's guaranteed to get a 6-inch charge.
Yeah, true. Exactly, which is like Black Knights. Same as Black Knights.
This has made me think, actually, what is the most optimal use for all these 2s?
Yeah, I think short charges or Archaon hitting with Slayer of Kings.
You would just roll it though. Maybe the
Slayer
Slayer
because
the Slayer of Kings, yeah.
Again, what are you saving your 2s for if it's not a charge? I mean, especially if it's a charge that you can't re-roll with a CP because you don't have someone in range. So it looks like, is this some shooting? We're probably starting with the unimportant shooting first, if I had to guess.
Unimportant shooting. You elitist.
And then we're probably going to roll all those chain guests at once.
I would have thought so.
Kairos has Mystic Shield, but he's going to be on 6s re-rolling 1s, which is not great.
He doesn't get -1 to hit, does he?
Only in melee.
Only in melee, yeah.
Now, the other thing is, Kairos will have his once per game change of dice, which I imagine will be used on a 10-inch charge at some point.
Yeah.
That like if Kairos gets left on 1 wound and someone makes a 12-inch charge, then maybe that's what we'll see it. So this looks like it could be all the shooting. Nice, he missed the dice. Oof. I mean, that's actually...
These are the hits.
Not bad.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's just average.
Yeah, 14 out of 22, a little better than average.
Oh, that's very good. That's
13 wounds.
That is that this situational?
Yeah.
AP. I think we could say that's a situation right there.
That's a situation. What is average though? 2/3 of 14. It's like 10. It's 10, so it's it's not that many more. So 6 is rerolling 1s, I think.
Ren 2.
Yeah. So.
Is it 1 damage?
It's 1 damage. Yes.
1 damage.
Okay.
He's still alive. Kairos still alive.
It's a really weird profile. D3 attacks, 2 rend, 1 damage.
Yeah. And
I don't know what
rolled
that's.
2 6s for some reason. There you go. I hope they were what he was looking for.
I don't know what these. Is this just more shooting? Yeah, it must be more shooting over here. So Kairos is down to 3 wounds.
I would say poor Kairos, but I think I'd get hate mail, quite frankly.
This also does turn his 6 mortal wound spell into I think D3 mortal wound spell.
1.
Is it 1?
It's 1 eventually.
Oh, okay.
It is D3 at the moment. What an insult that is. If he does, 2 more wounds to him.
Well, we are going to see these charges as well, right? Again, this Spirit Torment, these Chain Gas. It looks like he's setting himself up for at least a couple shots at the charge. I think it is one of those things where the chain casts don't do very much damage if you're not fully exposed to all of them. Oh, good night, sweet prince.
What did he get him with the other two?
It must be the other two chain gas,
It was the other two chain gas there. Oh. We're just having a moment of silence there for Kairos.
Can we get an F in the chat for Kairos, please? Okay, so you're the Tzeentch player. You're not happy about this.
No. I mean, I think that's not good.
That's brutal. That is brutal. Now, I think Arcana could still cast the Demon Rift and take all these chain gas.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about, right? I'm thinking you're now you need to win turn 2 priority, and you're as you say, you're casting the Demon Rift. I don't know if he's in range. What's the Demon Rift range? 8 and 12?
We'll work this
Yeah,
out.
but he's a 2 caster and he's got a portal still.
You can't move the Demon Rift after it comes through the portal, though.
Yeah, so it'd be
yeah,
like
yeah, good point,
18, 19 inch. No, you wouldn't want to do that. Yeah.
So it's wholly within 9 inches,
Well,
and it moves. It moves 12. Okay, so he could, and the Sorcerer Lord as well. Yeah. So it's going to be hard to get the side thing, but I mean he's right. So, I mean, in some ways this doesn't change the landscape of the game that much.
What are you talking about?
Like, so obviously you're really sad because you can't if the Tzeentch player wins priority, he can't obliterate all these chain gas. But if the chain gas win priority, it's going to look much the same as if Kairos had been on half wounds.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
So 50% of the time it's roughly the same, and also, yeah, again, we're going to have to see what Archon is going to do.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at the Darkfire Demon Rift. So it's 9 inches, wholly 9 inches away from the caster.
And then 12 inches.
And then 12 to 21. If you remember,
But-
I believe Luke was actually measuring 21.
But also it's he's not going to get it through the side is the important thing, right?
No, he's not. You're right. Yeah.
So he might be able to get a couple. And even then it's it's sort of D3 plus 1 mortal wounds that we're looking at rather than the complement of
D3 plus the portal, would that be in range?
Yeah, that's the plus 1. The plus 1 is from the portal.
Oh, okay, I see.
You might get Geminids as well, but yeah, you're not with Kairos there. You were sort of guaranteeing at least one other wizard, and I mean the pink horrors are also a wizard. But yeah, it's not good.
So people know the Darkfire Demon Rift is a much feared Slaves to Darkness spell. So when you cast it, it's got this 21-inch range, as we were saying, and it moves over stuff. If you get, if it moves over you, you take D3 mortal wounds, and then you take an extra 1 mortal wound for every
wizard or endless spell.
Wizard or endless spell within 12 inches after it's moved. So if you've got an endless spell heavy list or a wizard heavy list, it's really, really quite scary.
Yeah, I mean, someone at one of our tournaments took it. They were playing a Tzeentch, not a change host list, but like a Tzeentch very heavy wizard list. They came up against a Nurgle wizard list, and they did 230 mortal wounds over the game with the Demon Rift.
230?
Yeah, over X number of turns, because it was just every turn it was doing D3 plus 10 or 12 mortals to multiple units.
That's like grot level damage.
You know what army that spell's really good against, right?
What is that?
Oh, Lumineth.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Luke has disconnected.
Yeah, broken all the little.
Oh,
little
yeah.
wizards.
Yeah, if you hit all those, yeah. So Luke's disconnected. I assume he'll be back shortly. Otherwise, we can assume that he was so surprised by killing Kairos that he just threw his computer away.
I'll just go check on it.
It happened the other day. He disconnected for a short amount of time, so hopefully he will be back soon. Okay, so this is a great example of keeping a positive mental attitude in Age of Sigmar, right? You're the Tzeentch player. You're like, okay, I did not realize that I was going to lose Kairos to all these chain gas. I've probably never seen a chain gas on a table before.
We have a situation here. I think Luke has had a power cut.
Nice.
Now, I'm not accusing power cut. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying it's a bit funny. A bit weird.
Look, Kairos...
Second Kairos dies.
Yeah, exactly. Kairos uses his once per game change a dice to change Luke's ping to...
Change Luke's power to off.
turns Luke's router into a chaos spawn.
Now that is some outside the box thinking that just wasn't on the cards for me.
Yeah.
First started the game.
I was just about to say, what do you do as the Tzeentch player here? And now we know. You DDoS your opponent.
Yeah. It's literally go over to your opponent and, put them to sleep.
Cut the power.
Okay, so let's see though. If you are the Tzeentch player, right? You're a Tzeentch player. You found yourself in a situation. What are you thinking? How do you win this game?
Can you teleport at all?
No.
I don't think you can.
No.
Right. We don't like to measure stuff here because it kind of gives the game away, but I'm assuming that Chaos Sorcerer Lord is not within 21 of those chain gas there.
Even if he's definitely not within like side swipe distance, right? If the thing gets set up within 9 inches of him, it's not going into all the chain gas.
No,
but the thing is,
the dream is to like have that Demon Rift go perfectly across all of them and just go nom.
That's where you really needed Kairos to live on 1 wound. You know what I mean?
That dream is gone.
I mean, we'll see. With priority, again, like this the way that sort of deployment went, the Tzeentch player was at a risk of losing, taking a lot of damage if he got double turn, despite the fact that I said I wasn't afraid of the Nighthaunt double turn at all. And I think it is because of the screen, because of the lack of screen. If you imagine there were 6 screamers here, blocking the back of the table, I think you'd be more or less in the same space, right? You'd be like, okay, he can maybe set up 2 chain gas to shoot at my Kairos or something like that, and you'd be more or less okay.
JP, could you be a dear and update the scores on the stream?
Oh yeah,
Still
of course,
0-0.
yeah. Of course.
So, if I was a Tzeentch player, I'd be looking at using what's it called, where they can make those horrors count as 2.
Yeah, the agenda, yeah.
So, right in front of Arcan, so those 2 chain gas took that objective that Arcan's on.
Yeah.
If Arcan comes down and starts taking out the chain gas or these hero units over here, and those horrors you just get 3 of them on there, they're going to count as double for the whole game.
Yeah, so up to 100 models.
100 objective scoring models.
Whoa.
Yeah. So and then I would just start to spread them out and to take as many objectives, use the Screamers and Arcan to kill what they can.
Because of this, where the objectives are, you could get 4 with that 1 unit, I'd say.
If I look at this, right, I think my issue, if I'm the Nighthaunt player, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking the only thing that can score, right, because these Screamers are going to die either now or very soon. The only thing that's really going to be able to score are these 10 pink horrors. Archaon, even if Archaon, right, say this turn kills 40 chain rasps and next turn kills 40 chain rasps, so that's turns 2 and 3, you are still going to outscore him with, Kurdos and Reikonor standing on an objective, with these 10 chain rasps touching an objective, with 2 chain gas. It's going to be so hard for Archaon. Again, this is what I was saying at the beginning of the game. Archaon, there isn't something meaty that Archaon can hit into to get his points back. Like, he's gonna
guys, Luke's back. He had a
nice.
power cut.
Nice.
A very suspicious power cut, to be honest.
Yeah, so he's back now. I'm going to jump back in with the guys, but yeah, he's
perfect.
Back.
JP, the audience are complaining the 2 of us are very quiet. I think they're
still quiet.
complaining that my beautiful voice isn't loud enough.
Okay, here we go.
It's a complaint I often get.
I've turned you up even more. You're almost going into the little red sound section, which I assume is illegal and will cause Luke to disconnect again.
At this point, I'm not going to rule that out.
So hopefully Luke rejoins. But yeah, I don't know how, like, if you look at the amount of things there are that outscore Archaon on this board, right? It's like, okay, a pair of heroes here. That's 1. This 10 unit down here. I mean, there is a chaos one. And then just this hero plus a chain gas up here. 2 heroes. There's so many just little things that Archaon can't easily stop. Again, unless he's getting Demon Rift value. It's Demon Rift value, right? Because he's not going to be able to multi-charge 3 MSU units and split his attacks and exactly kill all these ethereal units and reclaim objectives. So basically, he needs to be using the Sorcerer Lord and Archaon to be casting Demon Rift and or Geminids. And
he's got to take these heroes out. Got to start taking these heroes out, like the Spirit Torment.
Yeah.
Would be target number 1 maybe.
David Allen has pointed out in the chat that we are implying that let's say they use the double count as objective for the horrors, so they count as 2 models each.
Yep.
That's only for that one objective. So he chooses one objective, and it's only double for that. So I was certainly under the impression that it
that it was all of them.
Count as 2 permanently, but no, it would just mean they've easily got control of 1. So thank you for pointing that out.
But if there are 50, if you are split into 50 small horrors or more from regeneration, you could have, say, 20 models which count as 40 on here and 30 models on the other objective.
Yeah.
So you could still control these 2 using that, because it just buffs you up to, some, between 50 and 100 models for scoring.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I think you just have to leverage. You have to basically kill these chain rasps with Archaon and use the endless spells to kill other stuff, which is a big ask. You are in trouble when you lose, because before your plan was to kill the stuff with endless spells with Kairos and kill the big blocks with Archaon. Now it's going to be a bit more difficult. Does Luke need any help reconnecting to the game?
I can see his ping. It's sitting at a horrendous... Oh, there you go. It's back now. See, we don't actually have... This is one of the advantages of playing in real life. Power cuts are less of a problem.
Yeah, true. Unless you use like an automatic dice roller. I can't see Luke in the game. We've got so many people in the game, none of which... only one of which is actually a player. I guess Tzeentch just accepts Luke's concede here. Seems fine.
I think I would, personally.
I think it's just...
It's a good time to do that.
That's just the fairest result.
I can't see Luke in Discord, so I assume he's still having issues.
Now is the time to start changing your Destiny dice to 6s.
Yeah. We wouldn't have said anything.
Someone should screenshot that. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think this list will still be a thing in AOS 3?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
I think we haven't really heard much about AOS 3, really, as apart from the fact that it's there.
No, I mean, we don't really know a lot about it, but anything could happen. You know, Archaon could get new rules and become 3,000 points. But I think, are we talking about the Archaon list or the Nighthaunt list, actually?
Well, mostly the Archaon list, because you see that. You see, at the moment, it's top tier net list. It's what you expect to see at a tournament.
I think we would expect to see Archaon. We sort of always have been able to see Archaon played in all 4 of the Nurgle Demon Allegiances. So I would be pretty surprised if something happened that meant that it wasn't playable. Like right now, it is sort of top tier, but the meta's pretty weird now because it's only on TTS. Like it's a different, people bring different types of lists. It's also different groups of people that play. As you say, there aren't a lot of 2-day tournaments. So a lot of people, I think one of the things about TTS is you might be like, look, I'm, we've got like 2 good players here. You might just be like, I want to try Archaon Tzeentch out, but in real life, I would never buy Archaon to play it. Me and Fabian were talking about before, we played Archaon, and it's a bit of a one-dimensional play style that doesn't super
throw
appeal to
into
me.
Opponent.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not to say you don't have to be a good player to play it. Like, and it's hard. It's still hard, because you've got less options to work with. But for me, it just doesn't super to appeal to me. Even, if I was going to a tournament, I've got Archaon, I've got all the Tzeentch stuff, I probably still wouldn't bring it because it's not super, like my play style, super what I find fun. So I sort of think part of that might be the warping of the meta, but it's hard to say before we get actually back and before we see anything in AOS 3. But I would be surprised if suddenly you there wasn't an Archaon plus Chaos, like Demon Allegiance or Chaos God Allegiance still kicking about.
There's just, because it can work in so many ways, you're going to see him in some form, I think. Yeah. I've always thought he was actually, but I feel stupid now. I thought he was too many points when he first came out.
I mean, I think it's
worth it though. I think with
so.
The buffs, with the proper.
Yeah,
buffing.
I think that's the thing about Archaon is he's kind of weird. Oh, nice. Luke's back. I'm going to promote him. He's kind of weird in
Luke,
that
I know.
his viability sort of depends on the viability of the armies that he fits into. He's too many points, to build an army around just him. But when you're like, okay, I've got this cool Tzeentch list that we can slap Archaon into and then pump him up. You're like, okay, cool. Where it's it's that synergy, which I think is really cool. I can't imagine a mixed chaos list just with Archaon, really. But you can do these builds, and when they work, they tend to work quite well because he's such a like in the Khorne list where he piles in and attacks twice and all these other buffs. He is a good vessel for force
that's how I
multiplication.
see him. He's a good vessel to put buffs into.
But he's not something like Marathi, where you're just like, look how good Marathi is at what she does. Where you're just like, I would take Marathi in, Gloomspite Gitz if I could.
Yeah, or just mixed order. You'll probably see Marathi in mixed order.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need as much. Some units are just like you don't really need a plan for them. They're just good to have in your list. Whereas Archaon is like, he needs to be. You need to know what you're doing with Archaon to build your list around him.
I've always quite liked the Slaves to Darkness sub-faction, which is built around him.
The one where you can see into the future.
Yes. So
that's one of my favorite examples. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, explain it.
Well, I was just going to say it's you can see what the priority is, and your opponent doesn't know what it is, which means it basically means you can play for the double and know you got it.
Yeah. Though likely
you're relying on luck.
Yeah. I remember that's one of my favorite examples though. I remember when that rule got announced. The WhatsApp groups were just crazy with how broken it was and how it completely breaks the game. And I have never seen it on a table.
I've played it on the table.
I've ever seen it either.
Yeah. I played it on the table.
Was it you playing it there? I thought that was such a cool rule. And but people were like, no rule should be allowed to interfere with priority. This is it.
Oh, shut up.
It's just one of my favorite examples of how you can sort of accidentally whip yourself up into a frenzy about something that is just totally not an issue.
Yeah,
okay, Luke's back. He's rolling dice. He's rolled a 5. He's still on form. He's checking his power still works.
It's still there.
It's still there. He's rolled another 5. Oh no, I think that was...
He must be attacking with something.
Yeah, I think he's maybe shooting with something else, or these guys maybe made a 10-inch charge and attacked immediately.
Yeah, I think these all. Yeah, they definitely had to make a 10-inch charge, right?
Yeah,
because they were 9 inches away.
Oh, here we go. Do you remember from the last time we saw this? I don't know if I was commentating with you, JP, but we had these two heroes here, the Craven King and...
Oh no, that wasn't me.
But these guys kick ass.
Kurdos is so bad when anyone plays him, except for Luke, who's... I've never seen it, but he always comes back and he's like, oh, Kurdos was amazing. And then I love him. He's awesome. But
it doesn't make sense because look at the model. He's an old man in a chair.
Yeah, I mean, he's just
pointing at stuff. That does not
He's got a big flag.
Yeah, I mean, also, this guy has a trumpet.
And a trumpet. But that doesn't mean good damage. Archaon's got this great big stupid dragon with 3 heads on it and this great big sword, and he's like, argh! And he's against this guy on a chair with a trumpet and a flag.
Yeah, well, he's got a mace, bonk people.
He has, and he does great damage. That stupid guy in the chair.
I must admit, if you looked at him and you were like, all right, what sort of character is this? You'd be like, oh yeah, some sort of central focal buff piece.
Yeah,
you'd be like, oh, issuing orders from any. Instead, he's just like, yeah, big hammer, go bong.
Yeah, that's what happened, and I was upset.
Okay, so are we seeing some more charges? Maybe I think maybe we saw a couple 10-inch charges, and that's what we rolled for. Or
it looked like the screamers that are fighting the blue ones over here. Took 1 damage.
Okay.
Now they're fighting back.
Screamers do no damage in combat, as I recall.
Yeah,
they're good against monsters.
Yeah, they do slightly more than double damage versus monsters. Yeah.
So we're seeing Reikenor at the moment. Another Nighthaunt hero, which I think is underrated. I think it's killed one of the screamers already.
I love Reikenor. He's pretty good. He's one of those weird units where he's like a wizard and a fighter. But one of the
Doesn't
few
make-
ones that have made it into a list. Into lists.
Are
Yeah.
either of you guys on Luke's team for Worlds?
No.
No,
I would never be on
I
Luke's
find
team.
it unethical to be on the same team.
Because this is the last game between, because I'm on Peterson's team in Worlds, and this is the last game that we have. I
Where you're
didn't
going to
catch the
DDoS your
game this.
opponents.
What's up? I'm sorry.
Where you're going to DDoS your opponents.
I thought you went quiet actually for a little bit whilst Luke Power went off.
Sorry, yeah, you were saying this is the last game.
It's one of our strategies.
Big plan B in an envelope.
Now this is the
somewhere.
last game. I think
Cool.
we're up 2-1 right now in matches. I don't know what the points are because it's a full pointed system.
So is this the game to bring it 2-2?
This is the game that could bring it 2-2. This is a big game because if Luke gets a major victory, then they will. I think it'll go 2-2, but they'll beat us in points.
Ooh,
Interesting.
So it's a pretty big game.
So how did you feel when Kairos
It, as much as
left the building?
Well, I hate Kairos as a model, and him in the Tzeentch army. So part of me was like, yes, we got him.
Yeah,
But
it's mixed feelings, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Thing is, I love because I've got a Kairos next to me at the moment. Yeah, I'm gonna try and
Oh yeah,
do
same.
a little bit of painting on him, but I can understand why people hate him. Yeah, he's just. It's just. Is it the 6 mortal wounds people hate? Is it the
The once per
magic
game
supremacy?
dice.
The once per game dice. That's once per game.
He's
I
got a
don't know.
lot. He's also got a history, doesn't he?
Good.
Yeah. What people in
His-
chat? What,
his-
what do you hate about Kairos the most? Tell me. I need.
What do
to
you love
understand.
about Kairos? Positive vibes only for Kairos, please.
The model? There you go. He's got some very very handsome feathers on him,
Yeah,
making him look very very plush.
got 2 heads. One for looking
Two
into the
heads.
future. One for looking at chain gas.
Absolutely, 2 heads. He's got a staff with a book on it.
Yeah,
2 in 1.
fighter
Useful
and a
for
reader.
walking and reading. What's that about?
Got a lot of
So I-
bling.
Yeah, I'm seeing. I'm just seeing nothing but positives for Kairos, to be honest.
Alrighty. Where's this other portal? I was just checking if there's some way the Nighthaunt player could abuse the portal, but I don't think. Oh no, right, Kairos over here.
No. Remember that Kairos can just eat them as well. Much like Kairos did.
Archeon, yeah.
Yeah, he can just eat endless spells, so he can just eat it and recast it if he doesn't like it.
But
where
he
it
does
is.
have to choose to do that rather than, for example, vomiting mortal wounds onto someone or healing himself.
Yes, usually I find it's the healing one that gets
Yeah.
the most love.
Okay, all right. But
You
again,
love how
even
much
like
nonsense he can chat to mortals. Yes, Kairos is good at that. He speaks to me all the time.
even these little umbral spell portals, if they are not dispelled, they can get in Archeon's way. You know,
Yeah.
we were talking. If there are like chain gas awkwardly placed around, it can be hard for Archeon to land where he wants to land. But
Absolutely, and we saw there back in the time when Kairos was alive.
back in the good old days.
It was such a long time ago now, but he could have been charged by the chain gas, and those would have gotten away. So, because they count as essentially a model, so they kind of like having a neutral unit, like a neutral
Yeah,
like guy in the way.
I think it's going to be down to this chaos spawn to win the game.
I think so.
It could
He's
be.
up to something.
But yeah, the
Those things-
turn. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say if the chaos spawn rolls hot, I've seen those things put out
Oh,
4 or 5
priority roll,
damage.
guys. Priority
Oh,
roll.
priority. Okay, here we go.
Luke is red. Tzeentch is blue.
Here we go.
That usually means hashtag go blue.
Wait, are they rolling? Am I looking in the wrong place? Is this top
It's
dice?
the top one.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Here we go. So.
Big roll.
Oh!
my god!
That's why you
So that-
take turn 1.
So that goes to Tzeentch.
Yeah.
That goes to Tzeentch by a hair.
So, Mark,
By
you
a
said you
hair
would
of
have
a
given
hair.
away. You would have given away turn 1. You said. Now,
Yeah.
how do you feel? You would have just lost that priority.
That was stupid as I did 5 minutes ago.
Although, would Kairos still be alive? Maybe.
I'd like to think he would be. Yeah. So who's stupid now? You know.
Yeah, no, but probably not on a double turn. He might also die. Okay, so that was one of the priorities I think you often see in Age of Sigmar, where if it goes one way, it's a disaster. If it goes the other way, it's sort of neutral playing field. Game continues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
think Tzeentch has a shot here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
I definitely think
He's going
You
to
don't-
need to do a lot, though. Like a lot.
he's going to need to leverage these endless spells, I think, to get rid of these small units that are going to annoy him from scoring. He should still have no problem scoring. Can he score 6 this turn? He should be able to score at least 1, 2, 3, 4.
So Fabian's just joined us. Quickly, Fabian, how would you describe the aura in the room when Kairos was removed from the table?
Well, it was quite funny actually because the guys are lagging a little bit. They didn't actually know that Kairos was dead from the rolls. Like I could see it, but they couldn't. So, no. So that was really funny. And then it was like, oh, I'll use my fate dice, but then we looked at the. Have you seen the fate dice?
Yeah,
Like,
oh my god.
They're not
and
going
we were
to
like, oh no. Okay, just kind of removed him, and then obviously Luke had the power cut. So I think the Tzeentch player was hoping that Luke would return, maybe, but
Yeah, I mean, all of us were as well.
Did he use Tzeentch's 1 dice per turn or 1 dice per game to change one of the saves?
no, he didn't. He didn't actually. I think he might have just been in shock that he'd lost Kairos, but he didn't. He should have though.
And how?
Wondering
What
if
was the?
Iris
Well,
would
what was
still be
the?
alive.
What was the overkill by? Because he had 3 wounds left, and then he got shot off.
Yeah, it was literally exact.
Ooh, so he could have used the once per dice to save himself on 1
Oh
wound,
my gosh.
and then he would still be alive now because he did win priority. That's a painful one.
I'm just saying he's burnt the bottom objective here, right? But can he do that when Archaon's a character is within?
Leaders stop the. There is one battle plan where leaders stop the objectives being burnt. I don't think it's this one. I think that's only for Scorched Earth.
Oh, is it not? Okay.
I believe it's only for Scorched Earth. I'm not totally. Totally 100% sure.
Yeah, he's burnt the bottom one. Yeah, it seems alright. The Tzeentch player looks kind of relaxed. He was just saying that he doesn't really play Tzeentch anyway.
He's a Lumineth player. He plays Lumineth. This is me.
Dirty Lumineth.
So
I think-
if the viewers don't know, the way this tournament works is it's 4 people per team, and every team you have to take an army from each alliance.
Okay.
So our order was IDK,
Good choice.
and yeah. So I'm playing Death. I played Flesh Eater Courts.
Also, good
Orders Deepkin, and then we have Tzeentch for Chaos, and what do we have? Oh, Maw Tribes for
choice. Mhm.
Destruction.
Good spread. Oh, and now we. Oh yeah. Also, we do get to see the 6 screamers now. Come back. Maybe
I
a
think
little late.
Luke's experience in this fighting against Tzeentch is definitely coming to play. Like he knows exactly.
Yeah,
what he's
I mean,
doing.
it's also now, Fabian. I know we talk about this literally 200 times a day when we talk about our meta breaker stuff. About how you turn up to the table with your Nighthaunt versus Tzeentch, right? And the Tzeentch player is just like, I don't know what a chain cast is, right? And they just leave Kairos open to chain gas shooting, and now he's gone. And now, he's learned a lesson, right? If he ever plays against this chain gas list again, he'll probably screen versus the shooting deep striking. But
Yeah.
when at tournaments, if you are the person playing the off-meta list, this Nighthaunt list, you get to catch so many people out on their first game facing it. And so that's how, I think a lot of times people ask, they're like, oh, you say good players would win with these weaker factions, but how? And it's like, this is how. Like, if they played this game 100 times, maybe the Tzeentch player would win. Would establish themselves as the dominant list. But when you've never seen the chain gas before, you're gonna it's no surprise that people get caught out by that deep strike damage because people just think of Nighthaunt as relatively harmless.
This is a pretty cool Nighthaunt list. I've
Yeah.
never seen anything like
Yeah.
this list before.
See, once you've seen it about 100 times when Luke's like throwing it in your face, then you then you're like, oh, okay, this thing again.
I tabled it with Flesh Eater Courts. Not even worried. Not even worried.
He's staying through all those chain gas, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was like if you want an army that does lots of damage, Flesh Eater Courts is where it's at.
See, I love Flesh Eater Courts. I've got the army built and everything, and then like I played against KO and got tabled on like near enough on turn 1 before I'd even had a turn 1. So I was like, yeah, I need to put this away.
Oh man, the Flesh Eater Courts, it's an emotional experience. I played back to back Nagashes and Skaven with my Flesh Eater Court once. Like, but that was back when they were still really OP. And just both my dragons and Gristlegore died turns 1 and 2 every single game. And you're just hoping that you've killed enough stuff that you can use your 10 ghouls to try and win you the game. But that's back when you could fit 2 Archregents and summon 40 ghouls for each game. So
yeah, exactly.
You had more tools back then.
I don't know if Owen Jackson's still in the chat. He kind of did a couple of messages earlier. I played against him, and he played Khorne Archaon, and he absolutely wrecked me. I think it was my first ever game of AOS, so that kind of put me off Flesh Eater Courts as well. Damn you, Owen! Just like to say that.
I played that list against him too. He's good
really?
at that list. Yeah, like a year and a half, 2 years ago maybe. I was playing Seraphon with the new book though, so he came in. He double fought his Archaon into my guard and Croak. Actually killed my guard and Croak. But I was able to teleport and had enough skinks that he couldn't grab the objectives from me. I think I won by a point or 2.
Yeah, well, that's the big brain Seraphon coming through, right?
Yeah, that was a top Seraphon with 80 point salamanders.
Yeah, that's
4 or 5.
Which leaves more points for the old brain power to come through. But yeah, I think it's cool. You do see like the difference in the Khorne Archaon and the Tzeentch Archaon. That you do have that Khorne Archaon where he's like, oh my god, this guy's a fighting machine. And then you have sort of the Tzeentch Archaon where he has like, okay, he has normally, the Destiny dice backup, the guaranteed long charges, in Host Duplicitus he has the no retreat. So I think it's cool that he's like versatile in how he functions in the different lists.
Okay, so Archaon's cast the Arcanum spell, the +1 to hit, +1 to wound.
Yeah.
And because Luke is Luke, he just rolls a casual 12. Don't worry about it.
Well, but that does mean that Archaon can now cast the Demon Rift, right? Or
yeah, this is very true, but
because he only has 1 unbind in the list. But yeah, it's always sad when I always wish Magic could have a bit more be a bit more fun. I feel like there are Magic dominance armies. Obviously, Tzeentch is one of them when Kairos is alive. But sometimes I'm like, I'm just so many games. I'm like, I'd like to cast Mystic Shield, and I just roll, and then my opponent rolls higher, and they're like, you're not allowed, and you're like, why? It's not even that good. Just let me cast some spells, please. All right, Archaon's coming over here.
Oh wow, he's not cast Demon Rift. He went for a Arcane Bolt and a Mystic Shield. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that either.
It's not giving me good feels.
Oh, maybe for Nighthaunt. that demon rift would be. I think the Demon Rift is a big play.
Yeah, I mean, does it cast on an 8? Is that maybe the reason?
Yeah, possibly, right?
But I still think it's better than. Oh no, it casts on a 6.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Ugh. I should really have that in my list, right?
Yeah, but it needs to be a Slaves to Darkness wizard that casts it. So if you don't have Archaon.
Well, is the Sorcerer Lord Slaves of Darkness too?
Yeah. I just mean in whatever janky list Fabian's running around with, he might not have a Slaves to Darkness wizard.
Hey, you take that jank comment back. Hey.
I meant it as a compliment.
Hey.
You're like, hey.
I've got the new Be'lakor in my hands right now. I'm looking at that.
These accusations of jank are completely unfounded.
Yeah, I think the experience of of not really using Tzeentch as much is probably showing through here. As David Allen is saying in the chat here, Demon Rift is on a 6, easy to get off.
Well, he could have guaranteed it with 2 of his 3s.
Well, yeah, there you go.
So and because the
Demon Rift is a massive mistake, which I do agree. Do agree with David Allen here.
It's possible that nothing was in range. 21 inches. I don't think so though. Given that he's 3 inches away from models now, having moved 12, I think that's impossible.
Well, and the Sorcerer Lord's
the Sorcerer Lord as well. Yeah. And if he's
the Sorcerer Lord could have.
Yeah, he's 20 inches away, so he could have gotten multiple units with the Demon Rift.
Yeah.
But you're only doing D3 plus 1, right? You're killing maybe a couple chain. I mean, again, better than Arcane Ball probably.
Yeah, I mean, what on average is you? I mean, how many wounds have they got each, right? 2, right?
Two. So you, on average, you'd be killing, at least 1 from both units, guaranteed, and you'd be reasonably likely to be getting 2.
Well,
he also ate the portal, which would have buffed the Demon Rift as well. I assume he buffed it and didn't roll to dispel it.
Yeah, I think he would have got all these units, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these units.
Well, he would have had to move it like along them. So
yeah, I think he could have moved it to the Spirit Torment and then moved it.
It's wholly within 9 is where it summons. That's the issue.
Yeah, wholly within 9 and then moves 12, right?
Yeah. So wholly within 9 would be like here.
Oh, where are you going? Are you going over there?
Yeah, I'm talking about if he was summoning it from the Sorcerer Lord.
Yeah, it was like oh, okay, Sorcerer Lord's here, right?
Yeah.
So it's 21 inches.
Does it have to go over units?
No, I think it just has to. Let's see. I mean, either way, it probably would have been. It probably would have been slightly more about. It's guaranteed to be better than Arcane Bolt, right? Because it does D3 mortal wounds instead of 1. Even if you just cast that. I mean, I guess you can get hit by it, but.
Well, I think he could have like killed a chain gust from every one of those units there, right?
At least from some of them, for sure.
Yeah, I think he could have probably killed like 5 chain gasts there.
I think he could have killed all of the chain rasps.
Yeah, because
how far do the chain ghasts move? Where do they move? 6 inches?
6. The ghasts or the rasps? This is so annoying.
The ghast.
The ghasts, I think, maybe move 8. Well, that's what the other.
That fast?
No,
Okay.
they might not be. The other like grim ghasts and stuff are, but chain ghasts are movement 6. Yeah, you're right. Same as little rasps.
So those things are pretty much stuck in this corner for the game. I mean, 'cause you can only teleport 1 per turn.
Mm-hmm. They can run, I guess, and you can hope to get them in another turn. But again, I feel like right now what you want to do is you want to give Archaon the runaround. Right? Every turn that Archaon's only scoring 1 objective is just good mileage for you.
Well, I think what he's going to do here is where these 6 Screamers are, he's going to take these chain ghasts out, and this objective is going to be his for the game.
Yeah.
Or most of it. And then the one of the horrors on is going to be his for most of the game.
Yep.
If he could squeeze these other 2 out, he'll have a 10-3 lead.
And he can just push that.
Luke will only get, I think, either 3 or maybe 4 points next turn.
What I would like to see is these horrors to tag these chain rasps, or to move very far away from them.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to just let them walk up and charge my unit. I mean, again, they're probably not going to beat the horrors. Who are they're no longer -1 to hit because this guy's not a demon. But I don't necessarily just want to give him the free charge and damage there. But maybe he's not worried about it.
I think I'd have probably given up the 2 objectives on the left hand side. You know where he's sending Archaon, and I probably would have cleaned up like what Vio's saying. Send the Rift over and then Archaon over to where the chain ghasts are.
Well, the chain ghasts are very annoying for Archaon to try and kill by himself. And he
could start taking these heroes out, which is
I mean, he's in a hard position. I think you probably want to put Archaon into the chain rasp horde because you need to start scoring as soon as possible or to stop scoring.
Yeah.
And
if he kills Rankinor and these 2 chain ghasts with Archaon, he'll have this objective.
Yep.
It'll give him the point. And then if they run the chain rasp into Archaon,
they'll just stand where they are, right? So Archaon, this is turn 2. So Archaon, how many turns of scoring does he have? He has 2, 3, 4, and 5 left. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4. So he has 4 turns of scoring left. there's no way he can kill all of these units, really. And every unit on the table outscores Archeon, except for the heroes who would have to work in pairs. So I don't necessarily think it's wrong or right to go to either side, but it's just going to be about, can he do that fast enough? These 10 Chainrasp hordes, 10 Chainrasp horde can hold this objective at the back. It's going to be tough, and it's hard for me to figure out without having played the list a lot whether there is just enough time to hold out. But he is ahead,
Well,
right?
I think Luke was smart for taking one of the middle objectives out, because now Arcan, if he takes the other middle objective out, if he gets if he takes the bottom turn, then that's going to be real hard for Arcan because it's so far apart.
Exactly. I think that's.
Oh no, is he forgotten about his spawn? I think he has, right?
Oh, he's forgotten to move his spawn.
Yeah, because he could have come in and maybe done some damage to these.
Yeah, could have killed some chain gas, right? Tied them up at least so they can't shoot.
I think he's totally forgotten about it, I think.
After I said it would be so important. Is he not watching the stream?
I think this is another lesson as well for people. Like, sometimes
you can charge the spawn.
Yeah, that's
charge it.
Oh, you can still charge it. I mean, I'm sure Luke would probably let him move it as well, but I don't think it's up to us to sort of remind him,
But this is another time as well. Sometimes, like in tournaments, I think it's very important for people, that are watching, that sometimes stuff happens, like Kairos dying. You don't, on turn 1, you don't really want that to happen. But sometimes it's really important just to take a step back, have a breath, and then go again, right? So that you don't do, these sort of mistakes. And if the Tzeentch player plays smart here and ekes out every single point of value that he can get out of every model, I think he might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is. David Allen said in the chat, Demon Rift is everything within 1 inch. So yeah, he could definitely have taken out all of those chain ghasts.
Yeah.
If he left Portal up, he'd be doing D3 plus 2 to every. In fact, and also because he would be in range. No, he wouldn't be in range. But anyways, D3 plus 2 to every one of those. So likely take out all the units.
Yeah.
So that seems like a bit of a mistake. But yeah, it's easy to get flustered when something doesn't go how you expect it. So again, but yeah, I think it's a good point in general that you want to be looking at every model you have on the table and being like, okay, how am I using this to help me win the game? Because the spawn can be the difference between holding and not holding an objective when you're looking at 2 chain gas or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think he moved the chain or the spawn turn 1 either.
No.
Oh, can it move turn 1 after it gets summoned?
No.
Oh, it can't. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, because it gets summoned within 3.
Okay.
So it can't. I suppose you could maybe.
No, because the chain casts are dead, so it wasn't within 3 of anything.
Oh right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it could have actually moved then. Yeah.
It could have moved and charged into those yellow chain gas potentially.
So it hasn't moved twice now.
Objective.
What time is it where you guys are?
It is. It's only 2:43. He's Peterson's same time schedule as I am.
Okay, so you're in the afternoon. I wasn't sure if this was like an early morning, late night game.
No, we're not Australia.
You guys have just pounded back the beers and now can't see the chaos spawning through the blurred vision. I feel.
So Archeon's pounding on some dweebs here.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he puts Reikenor in the sword, shows him what's what. Although he did just roll a 1 and a 2. Does he remember that he has his destiny dice?
I think those are 1s and 2s as well, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what we're saying. You can at least use 2s instead of 1s.
I mean, might as well.
Yeah, that's like. But yeah, I think it is a good lesson in general. But it also is what we talked about. It's like your advantage playing an unheard of, underpowered faction is that you can take people by surprise and it can shake their. Oh, is that 2 6s to wound? No, it doesn't look like it. I thought that might be the Slayer. It might be Reikenor. But yeah, I think Luke's told me a lot of stories about people just don't know how much damage the chain gets to. And it's not crazy damage. That's the thing. You don't have to hide, your units from them often. But your heroes, if you have key heroes, they often are vulnerable to the 2 rend, 1 damage, just doing exactly 14 damage to take him out, that sort of thing.
Okay, so he's aimed the Ragnar into the sword potentially. We're waiting to see if he rolls any 6s here.
Okay.
Hashtag Ghost in the Sword, Mark writes.
Oh my god, he just rolled his destiny dice again. Those are some really unlucky dice.
So these are the heads. All hit for the heads and only 1 wound. Ugh.
Yikes.
It just always seemed to be the way as well. You make like a small mistake in your gameplay, and that's also the game where your dice just abandon you. It's like karma, you know. You're like, oh, you forgot to do this one rule. It's over.
Okay, so this is Slayer of Kings. Here we go. 2s and 3s. So
Oh, Destiny dice that one.
Has he got?
He's re-rolling ones. He's re-rolling ones.
Okay.
No,
this. And now we need 2. Is this the one we need 2 6s to?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Show me 2 6s. Oh yeah, in chat, yeah, could have retreat and run with the chaos spawn. Yeah, so even if it is within 3, I guess you can retreat and run with it. So you wouldn't have been able to charge turn 1, but you could have been threatening an objective. That's a good point.
See, I've never thought about that with a spawn because I've always thought, well, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, well, often it is best to leave it there, right, to tie up a unit.
Yeah. Oh, no 6s.
Well, no 6s.
Right,
All went through though.
Decent chance of killing Ragnar anyways, although the rend is obviously not very good.
Is it Ren 2, is it?
Yeah, but Ragnar is ethereal.
Ragnar's dead, I think.
Ragnar dead?
He'd gone through.
F in the chat for Ragnar.
Take
Not in the sword, but still out.
it off.
Take it off.
Who does he think he is?
Stepping up to Archeon. So, but these chain ghasts are still alive, or are there more attacks to come?
Yeah, they were all alive. They were ethereal, right? So Luke just saved all of it.
Name a more iconic duo.
So even though Archeon's gone over there, he's still not claimed his objectives.
What are these now?
I'm not sure what we're rolling now. It might be the. It looks like
the
a lot
chain
of
gas.
Yeah, it might be the
Screamers,
chain
maybe.
gas hitting.
The Screamers.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They
Yeah,
get
those
6
6
each,
attacks each. Yeah, from getting into that middle section.
Yeah, I think that was a massive mistake from the Demon Rift, right? For sure.
Yeah, you could have. It would have essentially killed all of these, I think, which would have been a big help.
Yeah. F in the chat for the Demon Rift.
Man, I used to always try and figure out where to put my end of spells on the table where I wouldn't forget them. It's just like I play Flesh Eater Courts and I'd be like, I need to cast one more spell, but I can't think what it was. My chalice is just sitting like on my tray under the table, just being like, please pick me, and I'm like, Mystic Shield it is.
The Flesh Eater Courts have a great spell lore too.
Yeah, I mean Flesh Eater Courts, yeah, love them. They're very dear to my heart.
What kind of list do you play? What kind of Flesh Eater Courts list do you play?
I played
consider
Gristlegore when it was busted.
Yeah.
And then I played Royal Mordants after it got nerfed. I haven't played Flesh Eater Courts for. I mean, I say that I just haven't played a lot of Age of Sigmar, because I'm not super into the TTS tournaments. So I really haven't played since.
You guys still locked down?
Yeah. Or we're like half locked down or something. I don't know. I think restrictions fully end of June or something like that.
I heard Hugging's back from May 17th, right?
Oh, finally. When is licking doorknobs and windows back so that I can...
What?
That's one of the things you're not supposed to do for coronavirus. So I've paused, but I'm excited for it to come back. Okay, also a good thing to remember is that Tzeentch are racking up their fate points, so we can see little units of 10 blue horrors and stuff like that, which can be useful for holding objectives, especially versus weaker units like chain rasps. Again, annoying that you don't have a 9 and you can't make a 9 charge roll in your Destiny dice, so you can't summon and charge. But yeah, I think this is going to be an important turn where we see what Nighthaunt does now. I'm looking at all these mouse hands going over the chaos spawn, but no one is interested in talking about it. The thing is, he's standing so close to the scenery that he almost looks like part of it. So.
Oh man, we definitely have to ask Michael afterwards, right? The chaos spawn.
I never want to ask afterwards though, because I always feel bad.
That scenery is volcanic and deadly as well. Yes, I'm standing next to.
Wait, did Kurdos? No, he just fell down.
Maybe the spawn is like just seeing Kairos get disintegrated, so it's just kind of standing really still, thinking nobody knows I'm here.
Oh yeah, he's just like, look, I'm out. I've been in the world for about 3 seconds. My dad just exploded. I'm outie. I don't want to get involved with these ghosts.
I'm standing next to this volcano.
He's like, life's been hard, you know?
Yeah, I feel sorry for this spawn. Like, it was. Okay, so it looks like.
Oh, the Bray Shaman. There's still a Bray Shaman just representing over here.
Where is it? Where is it?
Here.
Oh.
He might not be long for this world, but shout out to him for scoring that objective.
Yeah, the goat.
Okay, the chain gas did also die, so there must have been some split attacks. That's nice.
Oh no, the chain gas moved.
Oh, they just moved. Okay, yeah, that.
Yeah.
F.
Still there.
Oh, to be fair, he did score that. He did score that objective, right? I missed that little screamer in the goat there. So
yeah.
Yeah, he got 4 objectives.
So he's ahead by
7.
7. This turn, Nighthaunt are going to score at least 1, 2, 3. Guaranteed 3. And then it might come down to this middle objective. And then, wait, do you burn 1 objective is every single turn?
For the priority, whoever's goes second gets the pick, right?
So Luke probably wants to go second. I feel like, but because if you burn this other middle objective where the pink horrors are, that makes your life a little easier.
Yeah. Man, if it have cast that.
Hey, look, the Demon Rift is gone, Fabian. Yeah. You gotta let it go.
Like, he could have won this game.
I mean, it wouldn't have been the answer to all his problems, but it would have helped for sure.
I wonder what he's going to put the chain gas into now. You think it's going to be that Sorcerer Lord or these
screamers
over here?
I feel like it's easy, like it's more important to kill the Screamers. Because once you kill these Screamers, what's coming over here? You know, Archaon's not getting back. You know, for a while. And this is exactly what I was saying before. Now there's 40 Chain Rasps and 10 Chain Rasps behind them. So even if the 40 Chain Rasps die, what do? Because you're not scoring. I feel like I'd put the chain gas into the Screamers. Just clear that out and just chill.
Yeah.
You don't even necessarily have to charge them, right? You just walk on here, you shoot off the 2, and then you just chill. And you just sort of do the math about staying ahead on objectives. Because the gap will go down to 3 this turn. So you'll only be 3 behind, and you will be ahead on holding objectives by 2. So you should be able to catch up, although the number of objectives does get smaller.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was saying in regards to sending Archaon over to the other side of the board.
Yeah. You like that. You know, now there's not like he's not going to get these 2 objectives.
Yeah.
But he is committed over here now, whereas Screamer, these chain gas would be easier to kill, especially if they were dead to the Demon Rift.
Especially if you get doubled here as well, then you can take one of those objectives out of the way for like.
Well, also if you summon the Demon Rift and then get doubled, you can hit a bunch of stuff again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
it's 12-inch move, so even if they move away from you, you're still getting them unless they run.
And also, so an interesting thing here, if he charges here, he can just put 2 Chain Rasps or 1 Chain Rasp in range of the pink horrors, not split them, and hold the objective.
Yeah, it's meant.
I think he ran those Chain Rasps.
Oh, okay, they ran. Okay.
I think because
Yeah, no, they moved. Yeah,
right?
they,
He was moving like
Yeah.
9 or 10,
yeah. So they must have run.
which is okay for him because on a double they can run again and actually
of course.
outscore the
Yeah,
ping.
of course. Also, it's hard to see, but if you can smoosh these pinks up hard enough, they also won't split. They won't have room to split, which can really help you with scoring. Okay, yeah. So it looks like what we said. He's going to be going for just clearing out these screamers, with the chain gas and just keeping hold of these 2 objectives.
Yeah, I think once he takes these screamers out of the game on the right hand side, I can't see how the Tzeentch player comes back from this now.
Well,
right?
the Tzeentch player starts getting rid of What you want to do is go second and get rid of one of these objectives.
Yeah,
It is one of those things about Age of Sigmar. It always looks bad for the player whose turn it isn't. So it's often hard to get it. I mean,
the Tzeentch player's just had a turn as well, so it still looked bad during his turn.
it's a situation. But we'll see some summoning. We'll see some priority rolls. There's always there's always more in the tank than you think. Also, I'm interested to see if Archeon can kill 40 chain rafts in one activation, because if he can, that does.
Well, and look, he didn't shoot the Sorcerer Lord, so he can, if he gets the turn, he can guarantee a Demon Rift, take out all the chain ghasts.
Yeah.
Or a good chunk of them, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, if he summons Geminids and the Demon Rift, you can, again, be doing that D3 plus 2, maybe even D3 plus 3 wounds on all those chain ghasts.
Well, and he could take Arcan, charge into Kurdos, and then wrap up this, get in with this chain rat sword so they can't pile into the other objective.
Yeah.
He can hold this. Yeah, I mean,
if
he can get it, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get shot at.
It's definitely possible. But yeah, it is also definitely sad that we didn't have that he doesn't have that extra Demon Rift damage.
It keeps upsetting me every time he keeps saying these amazing endless spells, and then he casts Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield, and I'm just like,
yeah, well, sometimes it'd be like that.
Like, Nids would be amazing here.
Yeah, also, I mean, yeah, when I played against this list with my Gits, and I put Geminids through all the chain gas, and it feels good. You take out half of them, and then you -1 to hit on all of them, taking them from 4s to 5s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you still got opportunities for it. It's not, the endless spells are still there, and Reikenor is dead, so there's no unbinds. So you can guarantee it with your glorious 2/3s. and the pink horrors are a wizard, and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord is a wizard, so you can amp that damage up, and you can get some stuff going, basically.
I love your positivity, JP. I love it.
Well, I think it's important in Age of Sigmar. It's sort of easy to win games that you're supposed to win. So sort of a lot of the interesting stuff is how do you win games that you're not supposed to win. And I think that's one of the answers is move your Chaos Spawn. Sadly. But I think, that's sort of the interesting...
Another one is caster spells that you paid for.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's... sometimes you just, you forget these things, and it does just cost you. Because sometimes, your game plan is like, I'm going to cast my endless spells with Kairos. That's what I always do. And then when Kairos is dead, it just sort of shifts out of your mental perspective.
Does Luke play this list a lot with this many gas?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a cool list. He stole it from me. I'm going to say that because he's not here to defend himself.
Did he actually build this list in real life too?
I think what he did is he's used Blade Geists with chain bits, because obviously you don't want to spend like 9 million whatever your currency
like
of
11
choices.
boxes.
Yeah, exactly. So I think what he did is he took Blade Geist and he's used the chains, like different chain bits, to make the chain ghasts.
He was building it like in real life, and then I played him with my Tzeentch list, and then he said he's not playing it anymore. So
but that's because you have a bunch of endless spells. Because you're filthy.
Did you get over a 3 in your destiny?
Yeah, did you roll more than 2 3s?
I don't think I actually used my Destiny dice in that game actually.
Wow, weird flex, but okay. Also,
Yeah.
the thing about these chain gas lists as well is it's quite good against the meta of these big wizards and
Yeah.
like lists. Whereas some like if you play against Iron Jaws, you know, you can just end up in a situation where they're like, I don't care that you're MSU. Like, I'm just gonna charge you with a big block of something and kill all of you.
Yeah.
Well, some good dice rolls coming out of here. I'm not sure what they are.
I gotta say though, Croak would love this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, D3. Just D3 is just absolutely wrecking.
You literally just if you just set up in a corner against this list, and then screen out the shooting, he just like can't.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't even have to screen out all the shooting. When I played against it with my FEC, I sort of just screened it off a little. And Luke was like,
Yeah.
"Are you sure you want to leave a gap?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, you know, half your chain gas can't kill a Terra guys. You know, all of them can for sure. But like, even if you screen a little bit, you know.
Oh man, yeah, like going in and double activating against all that big block of chain gas.
Yeah.
It's like so many walls. So he's doing all his shooting now, right?
I think so.
Um,
I assume he's shooting at these screamers.
we're trying to shoot the sorcerer lord off at the moment.
Oh, is that so? We are shooting to the sorcerer lord, even though he's -1 to hit.
So he said pink chain grass into sorcerer lord,
Oh, interesting.
and then
I mean,
one more 6.
Oh, sorcerer lord's on a 1. Oh, no, sorcerer lord has 1 wound remaining. He's living his literal best life. Look at him. He's not even worried. Not even worried.
I think he survived somehow, and like the last wound, he rolled a 6 to save.
Yeah,
the
good.
Sorcerer Lord, like.
Kairos could have changed it into a 6. Were you here for that part of the chat that we forgot to use the Kairos once per game change of dice to save Kairos from dying to the last wound?
Well, yeah, I was living it, right?
Oh, yeah, you were living it. Yeah. Sorry. You were actually there. You were on the front lines.
Well, yeah, it's hard not to say anything, right? As you're typing it, like.
Yeah, I know. You're just typing into the chat. You're like, I'm so sorry. Has Luke been slow playing again? Yes. Luke has been slow playing.
I could see it happening before it happened as well. Kairos dying. I was like, Kairos has been left open here.
Yeah, I know. It's the classic. It's the thing Luke always talks about with this list is he's like, if you do just leave. I think he played versus Techless and the same thing happened. Like, if you don't respect it at all, you can get caught out. I mean, he rolled very well. He he had 14 3-ups to roll, and he rolled 13 of them. So you know, if Kairos had lived on 1 wound, all the chain gas would be dead for sure, and so would your general. Your general.
He had the fate dice too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where when you get unlucky like that, right? Both unlucky in terms of like, oops, I made a mistake, and I got unlucky with my dice roll, so now Kairos is dead. That is when it's most important to keep making the best decision at every possible turn. All right, so these guys are charging.
Where's the shaman gone?
Oh, the shaman. No, he's still here. He's about to get bonked by Kurdos, sadly.
Oh no.
I thought they ran because it looked like they.
Yeah, but I guess they were 9 inches away from the pink horrors, right? Is where they started. So they were 9 away. So
no, I don't think they were 9. I thought they were just all the way down at the bottom here.
Yeah, but so they were 9 away. I think the horrors moved like 1 inch away from the edge of the objective. So they were like 10, and then they moved 6, and I guess charged at least 4. But yeah, I also agree. It did look a little bit like they ran, but I guess maybe because they fly, they just ended up on top of this scenery. Made them look like they went further. And again, for everybody in chat who's like, Nighthaunt, unplayable. Nighthaunt, too bad. They just look at this.
I don't think Nighthaunt are bad.
No. They're weaker than a lot of the other books in terms of their book power, but they're like, again, people write them off as like, oh, they're unplayable. But also, have people been playing this sort of MSU, this chain gas spam list? Like, I think what happens is when you have a faction that's slightly weaker, people don't invest like the list building resources, the playing resources into like learning to play the army. And you can see Luke, who's a despite everything terrible about him, a very good Age of Sigmar player. And he comes up with this list and he practices it and he plays it well. And you can sort of get these upset results versus people who aren't experienced with playing against the list and don't expect some of the shenanigans.
Yeah, like you said before, I think if this Tzeentch player plays against this list again, I think they win, right?
I'm sort of surprised at this because this is actually going to mean Luke won't score the objective, right? There's a pretty good chance that the split will actually cause him to become outnumbered.
Yeah, that's very true. If
he could have just charged and put more than 10 models on the objective and he would have been fine. I guess maybe
there's 40 chain rasps, so
yeah, there's a.
The pink cores only count as one.
So if he got the full split, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So I mean, not all 40 of them are on, but yeah, I mean, also often it's just better to start blasting. The only thing is, if he kills 9 pink horrors, he's in a really bad spot because we can Destiny Dice regenerate D6. As well as having all the split ones.
True. That's true.
But if he does at least 10 damage, and he will be re-rolling ones from the end to wound and to hit from the various chain rasp buffs. So again, one thing I always say is, I'm like, if you're not sure about what to do, you should just always pick the more aggressive option, because at the end of the day, dealing damage and stuff like that is just often better than not doing it. I've played a lot of games at Age of Sigmar where someone has like a 5 wound hero and they don't charge him in because they're like, well, he's not going to do much, and it's like, well, he could have done something. Could have done the last wound on my unit of pink horrors, stuff like that. So yeah, fighting.
I have figured out what that spawn is doing.
What's it doing?
It's doing Drax from Avengers. It's moving out slowly,
just to remain invisible. So that turn 5 when Luke's like, I've won, he's like, actually, I've got. And then the spawn just dies to volcanic and deadly combined. Okay, we got some dice coming out. Is this the chain? I don't know what this will be. Can't tell what this is, but it's a funny game because the combats sort of don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't really had a situation where whoever rolls better in the combat is going to control an objective.
I think he's doing the chain gas where the screams are. Yeah, sure. There he is, where the green screamers are.
Mm-hmm. Couple green screamers dead.
Yeah, I think they're going to not.
But he would have held the objective even if none of them had died. So
yeah.
Again, like this is a game where the combats are going to be quite one-sided. You know, Archeon hitting Ragnar, many chain rasps hitting one unit of free screamers, like. Although we can hope these 2 red screamers kill the Dreadblade Harrow. Removing the teleport.
So this is like another example of some of these massive superhero special characters in these armies, whereby if you kind of ignore the special character, you kind of just kill the rest of the army, right? Like,
yeah, that's what we were saying in deployment. I was like, if I were Nighthaunt, I'd be focusing on just tabling everything and just watching Archeon. You're like, what's he up to? Okay, maybe, especially if Archeon goes down in here, right, and he kills 39 chain rasps, you're loving it, right? Because then he's still stuck in combat with 1 chain rasp the next turn. Can't fight, until he retreats. So, you're hard pressed. But again, you still got the Demon Rift, you still got Geminids, you got some things, you're still ahead on points.
Oh, did you say Demon Rift? Oh.
I don't even know if Arcan can kill 40 chain rasps.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
he can. Maybe if he battle shocks them. Is there any general within 6 inches?
No, there's no one to IP them. They are bravery 10 plus the fact that there's more than 10 of them, so they will be on bravery 14, 13, 12.
If he kills 20, if he kills 20, that unit will be gone.
But the thing about the Rend as well is like when you're doing sort of 3 damage. 2 Rend attacks, as if he's making those 5-ups. He just needs to make a couple 5-up saves for that to go a lot worse for him.
So reroll saves on pinks is Mark's put somehow.
Chaos Sorcerer Lord, doesn't he only pick mortal units for reroll saves? I mean, whatever. They only have a 6-up anyway, so.
Yeah, maybe he means reroll ones, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. Probably the general. Oh yeah, you just spend a command point and reroll ones.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, okay. The chain rats don't have any rend, so you're on a 6-up rerolling ones and then another 6-up. But I feel like what you want to do is split, so I don't know if I would have done that. Although, actually, no, you want to stay alive for Battle Shock is what you want to do. So that's the correct play.
Yeah, you want to try and keep.
You want your standard bearer to live.
Yeah.
And then you're laughing. Then you're laughing all the way to your
one.
ones for Destiny dice.
Use that one. Roll a 6. Boom.
Roll a 6. At
We're
6
back, baby.
at the first Six Nations, I had a game where I was playing Tzeentch versus Sylvanet, and I wouldn't say I was necessarily losing, but I was on the ropes. You know what I mean? And then I had two units of pink horrors. I rolled two natural ones for Battle Shock, and then 2 6s for or like a 6 and a 5 for regenerating. And my opponent, it was one of those things where it was like a tense but respectful game. And then I could see from those dice rolls, my opponent he started swearing a lot in Swedish to start with. I'm not sure if it was at me or not, but I was like, Tzeentch, it's fair. It's fair. It's wild and wooey.
I love how you recognize the swear words in.
Well, I mean, actually, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was saying really nice things. Maybe he was just like, "Oh my god, I love this game. I want to play versus Tzeentch all the time." I was just sort of guessing from the tone that it was curse words.
Yeah, Owen saying that the pinks should have charged and tagged the chain rasp to avoid.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
it would have been nice. They could have formed a bubble blocking the retreat onto the objective at the bottom, and tagged them with one model.
I would like to say, Owen, there's been a lot of regrets in this game. A lot of regrets.
It's possible that you know he lost Kairos, and sometimes you just get into your own head and you're like, well, I've lost anyways. You just stopped. You sort of subconsciously stop trying as hard.
Owen saying, "Screw you, JP."
Oh. Wait a second. Is that Swedish for something?
Yeah, I think so, right?
I think it's Swedish for I love playing against Tzeentch, as far as I understand it.
Owen likes playing against Tzeentch. He had a good game the other day, right? With his OBR, right? Right, Owen?
I've never seen Owen lose on stream with OBR. I'm just saying. He's got a 100% win rate when I've been watching, so.
Oh, yeah, that's very true, right? He beat Luke, right?
Yeah.
He played this Nighthaunt list?
No, Luke was playing Varangard.
Ah, okay.
Luke has a variety of disgusting lists at his disposal.
That was that was the notorious epic 6-hour game.
Oh my god, yeah.
Of
Owen. That was our first streamed game, and it was like, don't worry. I told my partner, I was like, we'll be done by lunch. And then oh my god. I was just sitting there trying to still talk about Varangard 5.5 hours in, and also in so much trouble in my house. It's just glorious. Just absolutely glorious. Luke's wife was just like, oh my god, please come help build this IKEA furniture. She was in the YouTube chat. She was like, I've literally built this myself. I have raised our children without a father. Well, you've been using the wrong command ability versus these Mortec guard.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So we've just got the various chain ghasts going through their repertoire, their ninja moves.
Alright, I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. I'm leaving the camera centralized. BRB.
I think 2 chain rats died. Horror's got 2 chain rats.
Oh, they died from the big group.
Yeah, I think they only killed 2.
So, Vito, how do you see the Tzeentch player getting back into this?
I don't know right now. I don't know.
you're like
I don't know. I don't know if it's
Right, so if you're Tzeentch,
I don't know.
You need to win every priority, right? You've now gone into the mindset of there are no priorities that I lose. And you are going to be ahead by probably 3 points. And one of these objectives, there will only be 4 objectives left. So you just need to do the math on what's the minimum amount of objectives you need to hold, and you just take those each turn. How do you do that with all your screamers dead? I do not know.
That's the problem. Screamers are dead.
Yeah.
And the horrors are in a wet noodle contest.
Yeah.
Okay, so if
he takes this unit of 40 out with, well, they didn't charge Archaon, so he's not doing any damage this turn.
Yeah. This is what I was saying. If Nighthaunt just leave units, it's almost one of those things where if the Nighthaunt player just put units on each objective and then left the game, Archaon would still struggle to kill everything and score.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just because these MSU chain gaps are very hard to deal with if you don't have something like the Darkfire Demon Rift.
but we do have that.
I would say you need some sort of combination.
Still cast it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You still can.
If he casts it right now, he could probably.
Yeah, he could kill a lot of stuff. Right? If he could kill all these chain gas. Hopefully, not kill his own screamer. I'd say he needs that plus the combination of some sort of 70-point summoned mutated monster that's maybe hiding at the bottom of the board. Let's zoom in on this guy's face again.
Well, he'll get 10 more blues here.
Yeah, which is actually really relevant.
Yeah.
Again, because you can, we've seen the sort of wet noodle whacking. Those 10 blues they can contest. I mean, ideally, you want your Chaos Sorcerer Lord to sort of be summoning them over onto these objectives, but they're swamped with chain gas.
I'm actually changing the Chaos Spawn's name. He's now going to be called Drax. There we go.
Drax.
If you hover over him now.
Yeah, there we go.
He's called Drax.
I'm standing perfectly still. I sort of just want to keep increasing his scale, like just make him bigger and bigger until eventually someone notices him. But like, again, he actually could have been relevant over here on this objective, right?
Oh, 1,000%. Like, there've been a multitude of things that could have. I mean, okay, put my Tzeentch hat on. Okay, I win priority here.
Yeah.
The Sorcerer Lord survives. I cast the Demon Rift, or I get Luke to just randomly stop, like, I don't know.
Well, he still holds this objective. Oh no, the Bray Shaman's going to die this turn to the Kratos, isn't he?
Yeah. Although Ragnar's dead, right? Does Luke have any sorcery left?
No.
Oh, okay, right. So
you cast Demon Rift automatically on a 6. You kill your own screamers and some of the. In fact, are you even still in range? I want to remeasure the range.
Yeah, he's. I think he's in range because I measured from like where this red chain.
I'm gonna measure over here so that they can't tell what I'm measuring. Yeah, he's in range, so he could kill all of these. He would also kill his own screamers, though.
Yeah, that's fine, right? Like,
you're sad about it, but it's okay. In fact, you could probably do it without hitting your screamers. Actually, now that I look at it, you run around this outside, right? So you kill all these.
Yeah.
Your screamers hold the objective by retreating. All right, now you're in trouble because these guys have moved away. But anyways, you kill all these, right? The thing is, Luke's gonna burn an objective in this turn if you win priority.
I'd imagine. Gonna burn the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll burn the middle.
Or do you just build this one next to, burn this one in stage left, like northwest of the Chaos Spawn of Drax, the far one away where Kurdos is right now. Do you burn that? That's the only, like, because you're sort of fighting for the middle one. The only one Archaon can take is this one with Kurdos. Do you just burn that one? I mean, I guess maybe you don't want Archaon then turning around and coming to the 40 chain rafts fighting with the pinks. I think maybe it doesn't even matter which you burn, as long as you don't burn one of the ones on the far right that you're holding forever.
If he burns this one, not the middle one, if he burns the one with Kurdos on it, Archaon into these yellow chain rafts, and then if we kill the Geists or the Ghasts with the Demon Fire, then the whole left side of the board is sort of controlled by Tzeentch at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's doable. It's doable.
I mean, it's a long shot, right? Like,
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
every game that you're losing, at some point, you becomes, you know, you got to start making long shot decisions.
Yeah.
oh no, Luke's doing his 3-inch piling over the top of models thing. So
Yeah, but I mean, the Sorcerer Lord probably won't die to one chain Rasp Horde, even because even with one wound left, right? He's gonna get what, like 2 attacks, two. I mean, maybe 4 attacks, 4s and 4s. He can use his Destiny dice to deliberately fail the saves. Also punished for piling in with the... Oh, now there's a couple more. Now we're getting into a situation where he could end up dying. Although, that pile-in... I'm not sure that pile-in was legal, but...
He's -1 to hit too.
No, he's not. Because he's not a demon.
Oh, okay.
It's only demons that get the -1 to hit. Despite the fact that I played it illegally when I... First couple times I played this list.
I don't feel as bad saying that then.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. At least you're not doing it for your own advantage like I was. So yeah, it happens with the Fate Master as well. He also doesn't get the -1, sadly. But
oh yeah, who takes Tzeentch moles? No. Ugh. Are we all looking forward to the new Be'lakor wrecking face potentially?
No? Is that the correct answer? No, I'm not. I think it is cool. I don't know. I'm a little sad that he became more fighty and less sneaky.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm with you.
he got way bigger and now looks sort of like a bloodthirster. I kind of would have liked if he'd stayed the same size. He could have gotten more fighty stats on his profile, but just like, I wish they'd amplified his sneaky and cunning rather than his bloodthirsterness. And also, he's going to struggle to be a good fighter because isn't there literally nothing in the game that can buff him?
What do you mean? Like, as in?
Like, there's no unit that can give him a buff aside from generic, like, reroll ones.
The Sorcerer
Well, he could shrug wounds too.
Yeah, I just mean other people can't give him a buff because the Sorcerer Lord can only buff mortals. The War Shrine only buffs mortals. I don't think there's anyone who has like an undivided / any demon buff.
I'm just having a look at the Tzeentch spells to see if there's anything that can.
Yeah, I mean there might be something that's a friendly unit.
Let's have a look at these spells. Otherwise, I mean, he's still 8 attacks, 3s and 3s.
Oh yeah, he's got decent slap for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like he's like a Ren 2 or something ridiculous.
And he's ethereal, right?
Yeah.
He's ethereal and he's got more wounds and he's got
4 up.
Yeah, he's still got the pass wounds onto small demons, right? If he's in whatever the new Legions of Chaos Ascendant is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are cool things. I think it made sense that because of how powerful his Rule of Dark Master was, that they needed to upgrade him to a bigger body, so he could sort of be allowed to have such a good rule. I see a lot of dice being rolled here. This must be the chain rasps.
Into the
Fighting
horrors,
the horrors.
Yeah, gotta be.
So 23. Doesn't seem like he's gonna have 10 alive at the end of this. Unless he rolls a lot of... He's got a 6 up rerolling ones and then another 6 up. So maybe.
Those are some good rolls too.
Yeah,
A lot of 4
Luke-
ups the first time.
Yeah. Getting 23 out of 60 odd attacks, pretty good. I guess he did have reroll ones on both. Only 1 6. That ain't it. 2 6s. And now all of these are 6 ups as well. Or well, he has to roll them separately. Because only the pinks have the ward save.
Yeah, he's rolling the first 10.
Oh my god. Abandoned by the dice.
Or is he doing all the?
He's like separating out the rolls, I believe, for the ward save.
Yeah, he separated them out. He rolled the first 10, which is taking 10 pinks off, and then
Yeah.
he's got he took 10 more.
So he, if he took, he might still control the objective then. If he took 25 damage, he'll have.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a command point, and he took 21 wounds.
So he's gonna. That doesn't matter. He
Even
won't.
if
He won't lose enough to lose models. Because he'll lose. It's still bad. It's still very bad. But he should still have at least. Oh wait, no, he's not.
No, he's gonna lose models.
Yeah. You're right.
He's gonna lose like 8 or 9, even if he Destiny dice as a 1.
Yeah, he's gonna be blasted. Okay, and he's only gonna have 20 guys left here, right? At most.
Yeah, well, there's 50 total wounds, so he took 21.
Yeah.
So there'll be what?
And because it's 10 horrors, there's never more than 20 horrors on the board.
Well, and also I think like some of these horrors, they're not gonna be able to split twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely should be just not splitting some of these horrors just to make room, if you know what I mean.
Well, also, yeah, it's what I was saying about when he piled in, he lost his like circle.
Yeah.
So he sort of gave the Chain Wrath more attack and gave himself less room to split.
Yeah, he definitely this horror unit should have been protecting this a bit more better, right? Like I mean, what's Archaon done this game so far? He's just killed what, like Reikenor?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it, right? Like
Yeah, literally just Reikenor, right? That's what we were saying this right at the beginning, is it's gonna be hard for Archaon to get value, right? Even if he then kills 40 Chain Rasps.
yeah, sorry, go on, Via.
I was gonna say I forget who said in the beginning, but if Archaon can tank those 22 or whatever it was chain ghasts, like mathematically, it may have, even if he took half wounds on him, it may have been a good idea to give Nighthaunt turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible, but you then sort of end up in this situation even earlier of not being able to move around getting the objectives. I don't think he was, like, he lost Kairos.
But then yeah.
He didn't really get punished. He didn't get double turned, right? He didn't really get punished for taking first. And in fact, he won that priority on the 6. It's sort of, if he'd given away first, he would have ended up sort of stuck trying to get all these objectives again anyways. Again, it would have been better to get Demon Rift through a bunch of things, but Luke doesn't have to commit. He can just sort of put Chain Rasps.
I was gonna say, he had the tools to screen Kairos too.
That's what we were saying. We were like, why didn't we summon 6 Screamers? Those 6 Screamers could have been down on turn 1, totally nullified any deep striking on his side of the board. And then you're feeling much better about your life.
Yeah, because then you're creating another spawn, you're killing 2 more chain ghasts.
Killing another hero if you need to. Kill the general.
You got Demon Rift off, easy. And you have your fate dice still. You know, your Kairos is once per game dice.
Yeah, change of charge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that's what he said. You know, when Luke went for a power, went because of the power cut.
Went for a quick power nap.
Yeah, power nap. Yeah, he was saying that he was saving to stop the charge. I think going in.
Yeah, but he could have used it like when he was on 1 wound left. He could have changed the save roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because he only needed to save 1.
Yeah, if he was killed
it would have been worth it at that point because Kairos at 1 life, he could have.
Yeah, well, also it's definitely better than not using it at all.
Yeah.
Because you can do it after you've rolled. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not like he had to commit it before. I mean, he did get unlucky with the dice rolling. Don't get me wrong, but like that's sort of when it's most important to just keep making those correct uses of resources.
Yeah, these horrors are gone, right?
I think he used one of his Destiny dice for this.
What's
One
it
of
For
his
battle
ones.
shock for a 1.
12
He's
death
also
and battle.
-1 bravery, right?
Yeah, so that's
Doesn't matter. He won't
a
take this
lot,
objective.
a lot of wounds down.
He
Yeah.
can't take the objective back anyway, so. And that's what we were saying about he could have avoided that by tagging the chain rasps in his own turn.
All right, so Luke scores 5 points. Looks like it's up to 8.
Yep.
8 to 10.
8 to 10. Just gonna see the priority in a second as well.
Okay, we're rolling it. Yeah, it looks like. Okay, so Tzeentch is blue, Luke is red.
Yeah, it looks like Luke is red. Yeah,
All right, here we go.
Luke is red. Yeah, here we go. Priority.
Doesn't seem like it's even a super important priority roll.
Yeah.
So Tzeentch gets it, but like, what do you want to? Do you even take it? Or like, it's hard to know whether you're better off taking it or burning an objective.
I think Tzeentch take it because the Sorcerer Lord play that we're talking about with the
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. You're right.
I would
You
take
take
it.
it. You take it so you don't lose your Sorcerer Lord.
Like I think you have to, and then you can.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't think Luke's upset about losing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But we're just gonna bring Marc in a second as well.
All right.
Looks like he took it. I think.
He did.
Tzeentch?
Tzeentch
Yep.
has taken it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. We were saying it's not a devastating priority roll at all for Luke to lose, though.
No, I think he's got this now quite comfortably.
So,
So at this
have
point,
there been any mentions on the table of the Darkfire Demon Rift? Because that's more or less most of what we're talking about over here. Or the Chaos Spawn. Oops, I pinged him. Did not mean to ping him.
I guess the Chaos Sorcerer Lord could fire that one off.
Yeah, we were saying in turn 2 you could have killed all the chain ghasts.
Was he in range?
Yeah, because Demon Rift hits everything within 1 inch. It doesn't have to fly over you.
Yeah, so just fist bumping the chain wrath would be enough.
Yeah, so it would have been D3 plus 2 to all the units. So you might not have killed them all, but probably would have killed them all.
I think that comes under the categorization of oops.
Yeah, that's what we said. Again, like you lose Kairos, you're up against an army you're not used to. Your head's probably not like in 100% focus mode. So
No, I think if he moves Archaon, if he charges him into Kurdos here and tags his Chainrast Horde and summons 10 more blues onto this objective. Oh, actually, we don't know which one he's burning yet, do we? We don't know.
He's not going to burn any. Luke's confident enough at the moment to just say, "I'll just keep scoring as many as I like."
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
I would have probably burnt the Kurdos one because
I was thinking that as well, but let's have a look. What has Luke got on?
in some ways though, with the Kurdos one, right? It's almost bait. If Archaon spends a whole turn I mean, it doesn't. I'm not sure it really matters. Archaon is only taking 1 objective per turn.
Yeah.
Right? Like it does, sort of, and it's not this one that he's on at the moment. So
Luke has stolen the CP.
oh, he stole it. Kurdos.
Absolutely. Just kick a man while he's down. Why don't you, Luke?
To add insult to injury. Alrighty, so alright, Marc, you're the Tzeentch player. You've been thrust into this game, right?
I'm the Tzeentch player.
Yeah, you're the Tzeentch player.
You're going to call me that?
You've been thrust into this game with no more than 2 minutes of preparation and a note saying, "Don't forget Demon Fire" on it. What's your plan?
Forget Demon Fire.
Now, come on. So you're casting Demon Fire, right? You use your Destiny
You
dice.
dirty Tzeentch player.
Look, these
I
screamers,
know.
these screamers are still alive, right? So you kill all these chain gas over here. All of them get 1 shot. You hold this objective.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So now you take this one. You're
You're still in the same situation elsewhere.
No. So you retreat your brimstones onto this objective to take it, and you charge Archeon into the 40 yellow chain wraps and take that. Now you're ahead on objective points again. That's the play. That's the play. I'm saying that's the play.
You're saying that's the play, but without these chain gas being here because they've been one-shot by a Demon Rift.
No, you one-shot them now. You cast the Demon Rift from the Chaos Sorcerer Lord.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's for me. That's the play.
Chaos Sorcerer Lord has got to cast the Demon Rift, and he's got to absolutely rip through all these guys.
Yeah, it rips through all of them, and then
he's forgotten it. Oh, he's forgotten it again.
It's over, boys.
You put a demonic power on the Arc Sorcerer Lord. That's not where you want to put it, my friend.
Sometimes I think it feels a little bit like he's just going through the motions.
A little bit, to be fair. It's.
I mean, and I can understand looking at a game like this and being like, I'm honestly not having a lot of fun.
No, also, like if you lose something like Kairos turn 1, it can fluster you. It's happened to me.
Some reasonable advice that I would give to people is, what you want to do, you want to act like when you're playing pool, right? And you're like, oh, you do some shot in pool. Yeah, they're even better, right? You do a shot, right? And the balls all bounce off each other randomly, and one of them goes in. And the trick is to look like that was your plan all along. So when Kairos dies, right, you just try and give your mindset to you and your opponent that it's like, yeah, of course, I knew I had to sacrifice Kairos in order to win the game. And then you just keep thinking as if that was the plan all along. And you've just got to play like that, because if you end up being like, oh no, I lost Kairos and I didn't want to, oh, this was a disaster, then
which would have been a factual statement.
Like if you just treat it in your brain as like, oh no, I've lost because I made this mistake and I took a 400-point swing, then you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose percentages, right, of winning the game. There's like when Kairos died, he was not at a 0% chance of winning. So
oh God, no, yeah.
Even if if you want to say he's at a 30% chance of winning, you're dropping yourself down to a 20-10% if you are then like, well, I'm not going to cast Demon Rift.
So well, it's mindset. Like
yeah, exactly, and I totally understand also that it's difficult. It's easy for us to sit here and be like, you forgot Demon Rift. You forgot this Chaos Spawn.
Yeah.
You tipped Archeon over on top of these chain wraps. Like it's easy for us to say, but like I've definitely been in games where I've gotten in my own head. I think I was saying on the last stream, I was playing Tzeentch, and I was on table 5 game 1, and I was so far ahead of the event on points that all I needed was a draw to win the tournament, right? And I was playing against a good friend of mine playing Ogre Maw tribes, and I just like if I look back at that, both of us were like, yeah, you won. Like 1, I couldn't win it, and 2, you could have won it like to the minor by just killing one of my guys, but I just totally lost my own head, committed loads of resources to trying to win a major, and just lost the minor. Just got a bunch of my stuff killed, didn't win it, lost the minor. Mindset is a huge part.
It is.
Of Age of Sigmar. It was similar to this. I rolled really badly on my Destiny dice, so I couldn't make any 9-inch charges on my Destiny. I could only make one. I could only make one 9-inch charge. So I had like a 5 and a 4 and nothing else. And so, like, I just psyched myself out of the win. And, again, easy for us to talk about from outside it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure he realizes at this point that he could have used the Kairos dice and saved him.
And that also plays on your mind, right?
Bad. Yeah, it's hard to overcome that.
Well, was it that close that the Kairos is?
Yeah, he got killed exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. So Kairos, really shouldn't have died. He should have still been there.
I mean, Luke also high rolled him, right? He had 14 wounds to roll and rolled 13 of them on a 3+.
Yeah, Luke did high roll, yeah.
We were saying like that's sort of the hardest time, right? Because you're like, oh, I've made a mistake, and now I've gotten unlucky, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to keep your head there, for sure.
And I know he doesn't really play Tzeentch. He only plays it in this. He's really only playing it in this tournament. So that's it makes it even more difficult too. So when something like that happens and you're not playing an army you're used to,
of course
it compounds. It just continues to compound.
Yeah, because if you're very familiar with the army, right? You're like, oh, Kairos is dead. I've played, the 10 tournaments I've played. of the 50 games I've played, Kairos was dead in half of them, so I've got a lot of experience. If you've only played this list, 5 times, you're like, I've never had Kairos die on turn 1. Now I'm in unfamiliar water. And again, as you say, that compounds your mindset being like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a good solid plan here.
Another thing as well is like I've played Kairos enough now to know that he's always got an out with that. With save rolls using that one, and that probably isn't going to come to you unless you've played him a couple of times.
Yeah, of course.
And, so Luke was actually sorry, not Luke. The Tzeentch player was trying to summon. But
it looks like there was no room.
I don't. Yeah, he's just
because it's got to be wholly within 12 inches.
Yeah, I think it's Kurt. So. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because the Sorcerer Lord could have retreated.
That's. I think these Brimstones should have retreated onto this objective because they will never hold this, and they're just going to die for free now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But again, I think at this point, right, we're talking about these really slim outs that you're playing to, and again, if your head's gone down, it's hard to see these because I think there was still an out where you cast Demon Rift, you ran onto this objective, Archaon went into the 40 Chain Rasps, and you were still, if you won the next 2 priorities, you were in it with a good shot. Because you could also summon 10 blue horrors onto this other objective after you moved. You had a lot of options. Again, not safe options,
I agree,
but a lot of options.
Because he would have taken this one. He would have been up by 4. It would have been tied at the bottom of 3. Yeah. But this objective up here with the purple chain rasp would have been contested. Yeah. With Archaon there killing everything.
So, again, I think he's maybe sort of just following through with just, keeping stuff going, keeping making decisions, keeping making moves, seeing what works, and sometimes that's just where your head's at.
I think one of his minors is getting the general, so I think if I was him, I'd just focus on that.
Yeah. So, and sometimes that's fine.
So he's using his fake dice to charge now.
Yeah! That's what we were saying, the 3-inch charge.
There we go.
Because he had no CP because of Kurdos stealing it.
That's funny.
So he's going to have to make some, I wouldn't say difficult choices. He's going to split the attacks again. This didn't work out for him last time. And this time he's got, oh, look at that, actually. He's got the Chain Rasp Hordes tagged, as well as the Chain Ghast and the Craven King.
Yeah, he's going to get 2 Chain Rasps that pile in onto this objective, which means Archaon can never hold it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the situation.
Yeah, that is what we're seeing. And these Chain Ghast over here, unless you put another spell through them, are never going to die.
Yeah. Archaon could charge this block, and it's only 8 wounds, but he's just never going to do it, because you're never going to figure out how to split your attacks to correctly, deal 4 wounds to each unit.
Could Archaon have put Geminids over there as well?
Yeah, that's what we were saying. I was saying you cast Geminids and then Darkfire for the buff to Darkfire and the extra mortals. And it was pretty much, you only had Destiny Dice enough to cast one of them automatically. But
what happened to the portal? Was that dispelled at some point?
Archaon ate it, which was also it was also a mistake because it would have buffed the Demon Fire.
Yeah. So Luke's now asked his opponent, why didn't you cast the Demon Rift? As each player has gone, I just want the game to be over.
I think, and you know what? I think that is totally allowed.
What are the secondaries for this? Game?
One was territorial, which they both got.
Piece of
one was Luke has to protect his general, which he currently is under fire from Screamers. And I don't know what the other one was.
Cast Demon Rift into the general. I can definitely see that if you lose Kairos. You're not necessarily playing the army you would have picked if you could pick any army. You got to play with all these stupid fucking Chain Rasps.
Well, and to be fair, this wasn't even he would not have ever played Tzeentch. We told him that you're playing Tzeentch. Here you go.
You should have put him on Beast of Chaos.
Yeah.
The thing is, honestly, what I found is the mental game is so much stronger when you play underpowered factions because you feel no pressure. You're like, look, I'm playing Gloomspite Gitz. If you lose, you're the idiot. If I win, If I lose, you're also the idiot because you're still playing against Gitz. Like, you're just in a win-win situation. Whereas if you're playing Tzeentch versus Nighthaunt, you got all the pressure on your shoulders.
I've taken top tier lists to tournaments before, and I've taken gutter lists to tournaments before. It is so much more fun playing gutter lists.
I also, what I always say is, I'm like, it's not like an altruistic thing. It's like the prizes for winning in Age of Sigmar is kudos, right? You're not playing for sponsorships. You're not playing for prize money. You're not playing to like get onto some.
You get a cool little trophy.
But that's what I'm saying. So like you're mainly playing for kudos, right? So if you can bring Nighthaunt and come sixth, like when Change Host wins an event, nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
But when someone comes fifth, someone goes 4-1 with Beast of Chaos. People have been talking about Joel Graham going 4-1 with Beast of Chaos for 2 years. Literally, they still bring it up.
Do you remember the time the Squig Army won the Warhammer World Heat 3?
No, but I've never heard of that. Did that happen?
Yeah, the guy got best sports as well. I can't remember the guy's name. I played him once, and I remember. I was like, "Are you the?"
That's exactly. That's what I mean. Like, who's sitting here? No one's talking about Change Host, all the events it won, or Croak won X, Y, and Z. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, you remember the one time there was a guy. Everyone remembers the guy who played 30 Snotling pump wagons and won one game. I remember Twitter went crazy. They were like, he's done it. He's won his one game, and everyone's like, get in. So,
well, there was and before the new Seraphon book, there was a Seraphon player that went like 6-0 in a tournament too, and took it.
Oh man,
with the old book. And that was all any Seraphon player talked about for an entire year and a half.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's awesome. It's really cool. And so it's just one of those things of like, yeah, if people are telling you like, oh, don't play Nighthaunt because it's not good in tournaments. One, here it is, like in a very high level tournament performing well. And two, like that's how you get the kudos, right? You can do 70% as well and get literally 500% as much like internet points, which is what we're out here
Chain
for.
Gas are really good and really underrated.
Yeah. I mean, they're really good. Again, they suffer versus different types of armies, but they're good against the meta.
Yeah, they're good against this list in particular.
Yeah.
Also, Kurdos really underrated.
Kurdos is not underrated. He's overrated, and he should not be in this list.
How does it feel to be wrong? Like,
oh yeah, no, Kurdos has got an insane value this game. He stole 1 CP and has done literally nothing else. Oh, he killed a Bray Shaman. That's true.
He killed a Bray Shaman, and
he's
just
taken Archaon.
He's just taken Archaon to the face with 2 wounds left, and is laughing.
A lot of people often are like, oh, you know what I'm having trouble with killing in my list? Bray Shamans. If only, is there anything in Nighthaunt that can kill a Bray Shaman in one round of combat?
Never come up before, I've never said that, yeah.
Looks like Archaon split his attacks, right? So he will still hold this objective until the Craven King kills this Screamer and proves me wrong again.
Yeah, not only is he's going to split his attacks and kill Archaon as well.
Finally, he does get to reroll hits against the General.
Yeah, well, there you go. Wait, is that the General? Or is
is Archaon not the General?
Lord?
I don't think Archaon's the General.
It might be Chaos Sorcerer Lord or the Bray Shaman.
Well, the Bray Shaman.
It's not the Bray Shaman.
Could be the Bray Shaman. We're hoping it's.
I think it might be the Chaos Sorcerer.
I think it's the Sorcerer Lord. Yeah.
If
it can be Demon Rift. I'm guessing Principle at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for the sports vote at this point.
I'm in a Tzeentch list. I really don't feel I should be, casting Slave to Darkness spells. It just feels wrong.
Agreed.
You can think that all you want, buddy. Well, all these ghosts around you are going to be nipping at you.
Yeah.
Where are your principles now?
But we were saying before, it's an interesting game because none of the combats have mattered at all. Like,
they've been pretty predictable, haven't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's just all been like you've never had like I think when Luke was playing Varangard, sort of elite models with a low number of attacks, high damage. Like the dice rolls were really important. And obviously the dice rolls for killing Kairos were important. But after that, like the combats are just little units whacking little units or just a complete dead cert. Like Archaon always killing Kurdos.
I can't believe Archaon didn't kill Kurdos.
Archaon just lives the struggle so often. But yeah, also it's part of the ethereal saves, right? Like if you save a 3 damage 2-rend attack. You're just getting so much mileage
That's
out
true.
of it. Like, Archaon's exactly what Kurdos wants to be fighting. You know, Kurdos doesn't want to fight things like Witch Elves and, you know, whatever else. Stuff that has a bunch of attacks and you're not going to get saved by the variants.
Yeah. That's what makes Ghosts so annoying.
Yeah.
If you're good at rolling 4-ups, just get Ghosts.
It's also so juicy. I used to play Nighthaunt, and just when your opponent was like, oh yeah, okay, 3-rend on this, and you're like, oh yeah, tell me again. Oh, is this priority? No.
I think Luke has a go first.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, these chain rats are gonna kill these horrors, and
Yeah, I don't know what are they doing? I mean, again, I think as we've heard, heads down.
So
yeah, I mean,
Kurdos
at this point, mathematically, I think this game's over.
Yeah, I think so too.
not just mathematically. I think any metric you can think of.
Best painted probably still goes to Tzeentch.
Painted, it's actually, to be fair, best painted does go to Tzeentch. Because look at the horror show this is.
Yeah.
See, I tell you what, that is my one beef with Nighthaunt, actually. Every time I see a Nighthaunt army, the person painting it has taken about 30 minutes, in which they spent 29 of those minutes looking at themselves in the mirror instead of painting their army.
It is a sort of, especially if you own an airbrush, it is
Yeah.
it is a quick
How'd you
quick
look like
job.
see me army? That's terrible. Stop it. My eyes. Yes, I'm one of those people.
At least I ran the black coach in my Legion of Grief.
It's like, I can see some metal on this. This metal isn't painted properly. Look, it's some dirt metal.
You just spend 30 minutes painting your army and then 25 hours painting non-metallic metal wheels on your black coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, those
Like-
chrome rims.
So the Sorcerer Lord, who is underrated in combat,
Oh, here we go with the
is
underrated
having a
again.
crack.
He's got his buffs, right?
Yeah,
He's buffed up.
Buffs up.
Right. I don't think that's done very much. Now,
I didn't see a single ghost come off that.
no, in fact, they're just looking a little bit angrier.
Yeah, it's over. These
Yeah,
guys
I
are
think
about to take
angry
big
that it was
slap.
just like, you could have cast Demon Rift and you didn't.
So this turn is going to be another 4 points to Nighthaunt.
Yes.
Swinging the lead to Nighthaunt, and then there's no way Tzeentch can catch up, right? It's literally just Archaon left on the board and one Screamer.
I'm gonna have to try this Nighthaunt list in real life too, in like real life tournament.
You really want to paint all this?
I'm only missing the chain ghasts. I have everything else painted.
I'm only missing 22 chain gas. I guess if you make them out of blade guys, it's not so
Yeah,
bad.
that can't be that hard, right?
I
I have
know.
2. I have 2 already, so.
Nice. I have 4, so. But
I
yeah,
have
no,
20
it's
more to go.
yeah. I mean, it also gives you a lot out of the deep strike. It is a gimmick army, right?
It's
Like,
a good gimmick.
but it's.
It just seems like a fun army, though. It's like a fun
Does it?
army to
Well,
play.
is it fun?
I think
You
Is it
sure?
fun?
it looks fun.
Like, the
It's
thing
like
is,
a-
you don't do any damage. So, like, you're really relying on your opponent not knowing what's happening, which is a lot of the time.
Yeah, but Nighthaunt doesn't do any damage anyway.
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
Except.
I mean, in
the
terms of
old-
the Nighthaunt
chair.
damage scale, this has got to be towards the higher end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
true.
right.
Yeah. Oh, I think the Sorcerer Lord
Banshees
dead.
are- Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, we're still rolling it out against the Brimstones. That it seems like we can stop rolling. I don't know what these numbers are, but
They're already dead.
stop! He's already dead.
Stop killing them.
I would like to see a Morgul in there, though. Maybe instead of Kurdos.
I remember
Morgul would be
Morgul's.
better.
They
than
used to be
Kurdos.
cool.
Black Coach would be better than Kurdos.
I mean, you throw that Morgul in the block of 40 chain rats, and those things will never die.
This is true.
Kurdos.
Do they-
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Kurdos stealing a CP is sometimes game winning, but I still don't think he's worth it.
He's also a god in combat, and he's a guy in a chair.
He's not a god in combat. He is a guy in a chair, though.
He's a guy in a chair. That is the one thing, I've got right.
And the Morgul's nothing to He's no slouch in combat.
He's better than the chair guy, but the thing is, and I've just been doing a reasonable amount of research into this, like, the difference between good scroll damage and good actual damage has been so accelerated by power creep in Age of Sigmar. Like, the Morngul has a really good scroll for his damage, like 8 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 rend, he's ethereal.
Two mortals on the 6.
Yeah, like, it's good, but, like, actual damage in Age of Sigmar is made of things now like the Feck Terrorgeist that has, like, 18 different multiplicative buffs on it. So, like, the Terrorgeist, he does 9 damage per pile-in, right? That's just on his scroll. Which you're like, that's reasonable. Then if he's fully buffed up, he's doing about 30 to 40 damage per pile-in. And you're just like, what? It's just insane. And some
I've taken out 60 wounds of Hearthguard with the Terrorgeist.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just insane. And you look at the Morngul and you're like, well, I can give you reroll 1s. Or like +1 attack to take you from 8 to 9. Like, it's just some armies have access to these insane scaling combos. Like Witch Elves. Again, Witch Elves do about 8 to 10 damage. 20 Witch Elves. But then you stack Mind Razor, Exploding Sixes, Catechism. They're stacking reroll buffs. They're near a hero, and now they're doing 60 damage, 66 damage.
Yeah, I think Slaves to Darkness are a good example there as well. Like,
yeah,
they've all got
Marauders and
yeah, exactly. Like all their wall scrolls are mediocre, but all the buffs in that army are crazy.
Yeah, it's
well, look at Skinks.
Yeah, Skinks the same. Like Skinks
Skinks
do
they're like 5s and 5s.
Yeah, Skinks do 0 damage. You look at their war scroll,
units.
you're like, yeah, of course they're trash, and then you just slap, slap, slap. You just lather them up in peanut butter and lube and just pop off.
I was running a list that had the melee versions, like the melee and the blowpipes, and they would shoot. Would +1 to hit, rerolling 1s to hit, 6 mortals do 6s, and then they 3d6 charge, and you teleport the Stegodon behind them and give them +1 attack.
And they just
they'd be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s.
I think they're going to call it now. I think they've called it. Just to update everyone.
Is it because of the Skink Blender combo?
Yeah.
Sorry, the Skinks.
No, yeah. All right, let's get him in. Get him all in the chat.
All right, the guys are coming across.
How you feeling, Luke?
I think killing Kairos turn 1 kind of.
Do you think that was a big moment?
We got rid of the spawns and all the kind of summoning and everything, didn't it? So.
Yeah, it was kind of big. I have only one question for your opponent, though. Just one. Where is the Demon Rift?
Do you want me to explain or?
we had really bad lag, so it kind of.
No, it's like I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not poking you too hard. It's just that.
No. I mean, I just honestly, it takes like 10 minutes to load dice, so I just don't care.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Also, you have to play versus whatever Luke's brought, which is just some sort of travesty.
Which is usually horrible.
Yeah, and he's not a great opponent to play against either. So.
No, that's cool.
No blame
I just
on you.
realized that after the first time I saw it, took 10 minutes to load my dice, and the whole game I couldn't read it, so I was just like, I just don't care anymore. So I just wanted to play the game for you guys so you get a stream out.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're playing real games back on real tables sooner rather than later. So
we don't have much lag, right?
And then Luke won't Luke won't just pretend to have a power cut.
The strategy for me is not existent. I just was playing it for you guys.
Well, we appreciate it a lot. Thanks for giving us the game, man. Sorry, for the bad internet. But yeah,
I would just like to say the best tactics of the game by
here we go. I know what you're gonna say.
My boy Drax survived the whole game.
Oh, Strax! That's you renamed him.
Oh yeah, so Michael, I renamed your spawn into Drax from Avengers, so that he moved so slowly he was invisible.
Awesome.
But he survived the whole game, which I'm so pleased.
Held down this bit of scenery, doing the Lord's work. Alrighty, well, thanks to everybody for watching. That's a thanks from me. Thanks to Fabian and Marc for running the table side and running the commentary.
No worries, anytime. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks Vito for joining us and commentating, and thanks to Luke and Peterson for just duking it out on the table. Kurdos versus Archeon. Love it. Both still alive. Who knows what'll happen next week on Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, that's it from us. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching.
This video is made possible by our patrons. If you want to know more about how to support us, click on the link to the right.